I haven't played any variation of Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire in a really long time. Also, there's probably going to be some hiccups here and there for shader compilation and all of that, because I'm playing this through Citra with an HD texture pack, and this is also not vanilla, I guess, Alpha Sapphire in this case. This is Sinking Sapphire, which is a ROM hack by Drayano, a ROM hacker that I am quite a fan of as far as his work. And yeah, I think this is literally the only hack of his that I have never played to any serious degree. Like, Fire Red Omega might be one that I have minimal experience with, but every other hack of his I've played all the way through before, some of them multiple times. And yeah, this one apparently released in 2016. I had no wherewithal about it until fairly recently, like within the past few years. Somehow, I kind of like spotted it in his collection of ROM hacks or patches, and so yeah, honestly, I probably wouldn't be playing this game again if it weren't for the fact that Drayano had a hack specifically for it. That's not to say that I like dislike ORAS, but I did grow up with the original Gen 3. They were the first Pokemon games that I ever owned, even though long story short, I borrowed a friend's copy of Pokemon Crystal, and that kind of got me interested, and then, at some point later, I don't know if it was like a year or two later or whatever, because time when you're that young is like, whatever, but I think it was Christmas of '03, I want to say. I got my Game Boy Advance SP with a copy of Pokemon Ruby. Still my SP, I think I still have my copy of Ruby. I'm pretty sure, but yeah, so I think like at the time, like, I enjoyed and really played the shit out of pretty much every Pokemon game from Ruby on. Leaf Green for me, Emerald, Diamond, Platinum, Sparkle, Soul Silver, Black and, or I guess White 2, Y, and then I'm usually an Omega Ruby guy, but I wanted to shake things up. I've never really like played much of Sapphire version, let alone Alpha Sapphire version, and I think especially in this game, given that Team Magma and Team Aqua are given more of a personality, it'd be cool to see like the other side of things. But yeah, so this is going to be kind of a casual playthrough. I know this intro is all over the place, but this is going to be kind of a casual playthrough. I have my team sort of like planned out already in terms of like who's going to be on it. I would like to get certain abilities on them, like my starter in particular. I would like to get a certain ability, so I might soft reset for the purposes of getting that at least. But like for everything else, I'm probably going to be content with rocking with whatever, and worst case, I just PK Hex, change it to what I want it to be, because I really don't want to like Dex Nav farm or whatever. I feel like that's more so for, competitive kinds of things. Not that the competitive scene on Gen 6 carts is like really vibrant these days. If I had to guess at least, right? Because online services were, well, I know the eShop was shut down, but I don't know if, actually, I don't know if you can you still play online on actual 3DSs? I have no idea. And so, yeah, I don't really know how great this is going to look with the HD texture pack. It might be a little hit or miss. I purposefully deleted the textures that smoothed out Professor Birch in that little intro, and I guess I kind of just talked over it. Look, story, characters, dialogue, kinds of things with this game, with Gen 3, not really my favorite thing ever. I'll try to engage with it to the best of my ability, but it's not really why I'm here, I guess. I'm really here to like kind of more so evaluate how I feel about this hack in particular and what it does for a generation of Pokemon games that is, I think, pretty easily like some of the easiest in the series, and that's saying a lot considering it's a series mainly aimed at kids, right? You've got your challenges here and there, sure, but by and large, if you know what you're doing, they're really not that bad. But like Gen 6 was especially notable in that regard. Not even just because of the EXP share from what I recall, but it's also been a while. Yeah, and look, no shade if you like X and Y. I don't dislike those games as much as I used to, but there's no way in hell that I'm playing those games again. So if I want to play through Gen 6 in game, it's going to be through ORAS. But even then, it's like it's not really something that I have felt compelled to do in a while. But I'm interested because, like, yeah, I'm interested to see how I feel about it all these years later. Because as I was kind of hinting at, with having grown up with the original Gen 3, I was initially looking forward to the Gen 3 remakes happening in the Gen 5 engine, especially because of how much I loved the way the Gen 5 games looked, in particular with the battle animations and all of that. I still love it. I still love it. That's the thing. Like, there a lot of revisionism around Gen 5, at least in terms of internet discourse, but I've been a fan of that gen since day one. Believe me. But yeah, like the trend at the time, not that there's really a trend with the remakes anymore, really. Because people will say, like, oh, it's every even generation. It's like, okay, but the Gen 1 remakes were in Gen 3, so... Like, maybe now, yeah, I guess. Development's gonna get longer and longer, though, so, like, who knows? I'm not holding my breath for following remakes or anything, because... yeah. Anyway, I'll get into that later. Point being... I didn't dislike this game, or these games, when they first came out, but I was kind of disappointed, and this was... It's actually following this game, partially due to my, like, not loving Gen 6 at the time. Or, like, kind of growing to sort of dislike Gen 6 at the time, I guess, is a better way to put it. Coupled with the fact that there was a year off for mainline Pokemon between this and Gen 7. And I guess a number of other factors, right? Because 2015, the gap year, would have been when I got my Xbox, and so I was playing, you know, Fallout and Mass Effect and, like, Batman Arkham, and, like, all these other games that were, like, new to me at the time because Nintendo kid, you know? And so that included kind of a pivot away from Pokemon, because even as little as I was playing the Wii U by this point, like, Pokemon were still games that I was still coming back to, but, you know, I was also, like, starting college and stuff like that, or I guess I was already in college when this game came out, but it's just one of those things where, like, I sort of felt like I outgrew Pokemon to an extent, and then sort of rediscovered it through not only enjoying Gen 7, but, like, through ROM hacks and randomizers and emulation, basically, and all of that, and all the possibilities that come from that kind of reinvigorated my love for it, and then getting into more of the competitive side of things, at least in terms of, like, watching competitive singles content a lot, which I still do to this day, you know? But, yeah, so this is, like, replaying the game that sort of made me fall off Pokemon for a bit, which should be interesting. And I think, like, if every NPC was as expressive as May just was right now, then I would have less of a problem. Like, this is what I mean when I say 3D chibi is, like, not my preference. Because, like, you notice when we walked in here, the mom, like, literally just, like, turned around on a dime as if we're still in pixel art, and it gets more and more notable the further we get. And granted, like, animation work there are actual character animations in, like, some of the Switch games, for instance, but it's still, like, not... It's taking sort of, like, 2D game or pixel art game, like, design sensibilities in terms of presentation especially, and trying to adapt those one-to-one into 3D, and I don't think that works. Like, you have to approach the way that you present a game differently when it's with 3D models versus pixel art, because I think the reason why chibi pixel art works is because you're not really seeing everything, right? Like, I'm thinking about the Gen 3 pixel art style, which is, like, hugely nostalgic to me. And you can't even see their faces, like, their mouths. It's just, like, right, their eyes are there, and they're shrunk down. Like, people thought this was Brendan's hair, for instance, right? Etc., etc. Set L equals A for the nostalgia. I like how they kept that, because I don't think that was a thing in, like, Gen 5. Or 4, maybe? I don't know. Yeah, so we're gonna make a save. Because I do want to... Ideally, I won't have to, but, like, I don't want to grab my starter and then close the game, go into PK Hex. Like, I want to do... If I'm gonna change stuff, I'll do it in between. And that would literally just be abilities and maybe natures. I usually leave, like, EVs and IVs alone, because if I actually spec those, it would be, like, not even a problem at all. So, we'll do this. I'm gonna go with Torchic. Like I said, I have my team sort of planned out. As much as I love Swampert, there was another water-type starter that I want to pick up at some point that we have access to. Now, let's see. Are you Speed Boost? We also got the, like, 12.5% female Speed Boost and a female Torchic, which is a rare. But we got the Speed Boost, so no need to soft reset. Lit. What are our stats? I know this battle doesn't matter, but I'm just curious, like, higher special attack than attack? Alright. Get those strong embers off, then. And yeah, the, some of the laggier elements should sort themselves out as these shaders sort of load and are repeated and stuff like that. It's just one of those things. I haven't played very much of this on emulator, so it hasn't, like, compiled a lot of these things. It doesn't help that, like, 3DS emulator development sort of just halted. I mean, I'm sure there's forks out there of Citra and people working on new emulators and all that, but in terms of Citra specifically, it's like, man, it just sucks. Because this emulator was on the road to being, like, one of the best. And it might even still be kind of one of the better ones, but, like, just in emulation in general, but it was, like, on the road to being the next Dolphin in a sense. But it's hard to compete with Dolphin when Dolphin's been around for, like, what? A long-ass time. And I think it should be noted too, even with my being disappointed with this game when it, maybe not when it first came out, but like after I replayed it and I was kind of like, okay, there's some downsides to like the 3D presentation because it like slows the pace down, and I think Gen 3's pacing is like one of its greatest assets. Similar to kind of what I said about the GBA Fire Emblems, like GBA games just kind of tended to be kind of on the snappier side. Which is funny because I actually find the Gen 3 like in-engine battles to be kind of slow these days. But I go with Azula. But what's it called? Oh yeah, the soundtrack in these games, in these remakes, is incredible. Like I really, like that is the one aspect that has really stuck with me. That I would probably prefer to play Emerald in some form over ORAS, which kind of fits. I don't know. It allows ORAS to fit a niche for me in terms of like. Not that I would want to do this super often, but it's like if I want to play Ruby and Sapphire, I would probably pick ORAS because Emerald would probably be my pick if I was going with actual Gen 3 Hoenn. Wait a second. Yeah, just speed boost. Was I not paying attention, or did it not proc? What's up, Space Cowboy? Yeah, I really do love, especially the battle themes, the way that they sort of arrange them, because, you know, something, GBA, lack of sound chip, bad audio, etc., right? I don't know, I think in terms of, like, what the GBA can output, I feel like Pokémon did a decent job, but it's really just not my preference, I guess, in terms of, music. Yeah, go ahead and heal up. Yeah, I'm a little bit nervous about the May fight without doing any grinding. You know, because it's a casual playthrough, I don't really care if I wipe or whatever. We're just kind of gonna go with the flow for the most part. Kind of do things as I have done in my previous playthroughs. So, oh, why is it? Oh, because we don't have the Pokédex yet. I was like, 11 potions. I think we'll be okay. And you know, it's an interesting thing. I feel like I've probably talked about this before. Also, I keep forgetting that you can actually, like, you can move slowly and sneak up on mons, you know, when they have their little shadow poking out or whatever. And at least in the outdoor areas, you can run in all directions, which is cool. It's weird that in interiors that you're locked to the grid. That's something that I was kind of bothered by at the time, and liked that Gen 7 did away with that, too. But I'm actually, I don't know. Chibi is not my preference. Like, you're gonna see May's in-battle sprite, or in-battle model. And I'm like, I would kind of just rather the characters look like that, but I don't know, I don't hate this particular chibi style as much as I used to, but again, it's not really my preference, and I don't know that a lot of this translates that great into 3D. Like here, she's not really emoting, and this is something that carries into Gen 7 of like the characters just like, or I guess your main character especially, just smiling at like, just like the closed mouth smile as their reaction to everything, because they're just not, they just like didn't animate anything beyond that. This works okay though. I don't know. I don't want to be too hung up on it. I feel like I got derailed a second ago though. I'll figure it out. Yeah, so I don't know. It probably looks a lot better for y'all in terms of the textures, and we got the burn immediately, which is insane. That like makes this fight like super trivial, actually. That's huge. I think I just keep going for embers, even though it's resisted. Well, I mean, I can try a tackle, I guess, and just see. Oh yeah, what the hell? I mean, I know it's neutral versus resisted, but damn. It almost seems like it's like 50 base power attack, scratch. Which I always get confused as far as like when things were changed like that, but maybe it was always... No, I feel like Scratch was always 40. Tackle was the one that got changed a lot. It was like 35, and then it was like 50, and then they dialed it back to 40 or something like that. I don't know. Back to the lab. But yeah, my instinct is to use the D-pad, even though it's a 3D game, because in interiors you're locked to a grid, so. And plus, I will admit, it does feel a little bit strange using an actual joystick, or like actual control stick to move a 3DS character around, as opposed to the circle pad. But, I guess because I haven't done like a ton of 3DS emulation in that regard. Well, I don't know, I replayed A Link Between Worlds. This is how I played SMT4. And, you know, I streamed the Mario and Luigi games last year, right? Wow. We got the Pokédex. Weekend was alright. It was chill. I like kind of forgot it was a holiday, but somehow. But yeah, just like bad weather all weekend, but didn't really impact much. Yeah, we already have the running shoes, so you know, I could have sworn in the original Gen 3 I must be misremembering, because I don't think this is possible, but I seem to remember missing out on the running shoes. Like, going around this side of the house and being able to skip the running shoes, and then your mom showing up in Rustboro to give them to you, but I don't think that's actually true. I think that was just like a kid brain, like, misconception of mine or something like that. But I remember remembering that, at least. But yeah, I do really like Hoenn as a region. I think, you know, it kind of gave off like tropical vibes in a way that we didn't see until Alola, really. Because, like, of course, Hoenn is based on a region of Japan, but like it's different than, like, Kanto and Johto are very, like, kind of like rural, sort of. Well, I guess Kanto's a little more industrialized, but like Johto's a little bit more rural, like not as built up. And like Sinnoh is, like, you know, mountainous, right? Can I just leave? Nice. I think, well, you get a Poochyena with, like, Fire Fang or something like that from that. Might as well heal up, and I need to check where I can find the other team member. Just let me see here. Pull up the docks. No, not this one. Sinking Sapphire. Area changes. And let me pull up. Let me remind myself. Okay. I'll just leave this tab open for reference. So this is Heidelberg Woods, and then this one is Route 104 North. Okay. So we'll be able to get the other two more team members before Roxanne. For the time being, we're just rocking solo Torchic. I think that's clever too, like when the Wingles fly overhead, doesn't it? I think it like picks those up on here or something. The Dex Nav is really cool. It allows you to like I think it allows you to more reliably like shiny hunt, but like more so for like competitive things. It's like the more you like chain or something like that, the higher or the greater the chance of like, I don't know, it just gives you better IVs and like the chance at a hidden ability and stuff like that. But it's not really something that I want to do on a casual playthrough. It's something that kind of, when I last played this game on card, I feel like, or one of the last times, however many years ago that was, I wanted to use Breloom, but of course I wanted to use Breloom with Technician, and because Technician's the hidden ability, it's like, okay, well, I gotta, like, farm a bunch of Shroomishes until I get the one that has the ability that turns into Technician, and it's just kind of like one of those things, I'm like, I don't know, I'm not a huge fan of that. Like, it's definitely a nitpick, but like it's nice the flexibility is there. You don't have to rely on the RNG of hitting grottos, as it was in Gen 5 when hidden abilities were introduced, or Black and White 2 specifically, I believe. Or at least they were like more distributed in Black and White 2, or something like that. Got Sentret. There's not really much I can do for the time being. I hope this doesn't kill me after the leaders. Okay. We'll get the Oranberry proc at least. Crit burn is crazy. What's going on? This Torchic is very well trained. Yeah, I'll try to think of other stuff to talk about as I go that's relevant to sort of that 3D era in particular. I've already kind of, like, I don't know, over the years I've aired my grievances towards the direction Pokemon has taken and stuff like that since going 3D. So, like, I don't know. Like, it was exciting at the time to see the 3D models over pixel art and stuff like that, but in reflecting on it and like as the years had gone on, right? It's like the movements and the animations for a lot of these mons from Gen 6 going forward, not that it hasn't been improved to some degree here and there, but it's pretty sporadic and like not comprehensive either. Sand attack or growl? Oh, that's... oh my god. Yeah, Scratch... Scratch is 50, okay. I kind of thought so. Sand attack for cheese, growl is like more reliable, but what am I growling that I'm not embering, right? If I'm in against like a rock type or something, I'm probably just dead anyway. I mean, I guess if I growled a few times and then potioned, then sure, but... this might be a mistake, but I want the coverage. I guess like flying and fire is like a little redundant though. It'll be good for Brawly once we get there at least. Or like it'll be something. 35 base power, you know. But yeah, the animations, like, I don't know, it's not like the Gen 5 animations are perfect or anything like that, but I think it's more lively and interesting to look at than, like, whatever the hell Caterpie's doing over there. Like, kind of just standing there, you know? And even more so than that, if you don't want to compare it to pixel art, then, because pixel art is... I would say it's probably easier to make pixel art expressive, at least in terms of, like an acceptable level of expressiveness, right? Like, you think about, like, games like Final Fantasy VI or, like, Mother 3 or something like that. Still, you know, fairly limited in terms of presentation, but, like, what they do in terms of the animation work there, even if it is relatively simple, at times, at least, does a lot, you know? But, like, the further you get from abstraction, right? Like, the closer you get to... It's not even like an uncanny valley thing, but it's similar to like what I said about the 3D models here, maneuvering like the pixel art sprites, and why that doesn't work. And I think, like, you could call it uncanny, I guess. Right, this is not Emerald. Pretty sure that's a trainer in Emerald, maybe, but it's been a while. It's like the closer you get to something resembling like an actual person, like the more stilted at least it looks when you don't like try to go all the way. And I'm not saying hyper realistic graphics or like, you know, like that I have to see the pores on my character's face or anything like that, but I just mean like there has to be like that extra bit of effort to like translate, right? To translate those things across. Pidgey's literally just standing there. Like, I'm not going to harp on each individual animation, but I'm like... the comparison point I was going to draw was the Stadium games. Like, yes, made for much more primitive hardware, but, like, those animations are awesome. I guess, like, I'd have to think about the idle animations. The death animations in particular are, like, amazing. From Stadium, and then Coliseum with the Gen 3 mons, and then Battle Revolution with the Gen 4 mons. Like Honchkrow, like, tipping his cap and stuff like that. Like, it's so good. Like, there's actual, like, personality there. Right? I'm not saying that, you know, these games can't still be fun or anything like that. Fire Spin is really tempting, actually. It's like a little damage over time kind of thing. I think I'm just gonna get rid of Sand Attack. It's not gonna be too long until I get, I'm gonna be going into Roxanne's fight with 3 team members, so it shouldn't be an issue. I'm just gonna Ember. And I'm also gonna trust that since this is a Drayano hack, that I don't need to worry about, like, getting over-leveled to a serious degree. Yeah, I guess. I guess I could potion, but it's fine. And yeah, so I also kind of don't see myself doing, I don't know, like, would I feel like if I were to like replay or like restream some of the hacks I've already done, or some of the games that I've already streamed, which is like basically just, you know, the main 4 TES games, right? Platinum, HCSS, Black and White 2. If I were to go back to those, I probably would want to do some kind of challenge run of some kind. But even then, like, I know I'm saying this in part 1 of a streaming series that's probably going to take me a few weeks to do, but I do feel like in-game single battles have been wearing on me as time has gone on. Like, there's just... We'll see how things go with this hack, because it is a Drayano hack, so, like, yeah, I anticipate it to not be as straightforward as what's happening currently, but it's more just like, I feel like single battles really only kind of shine, in my opinion, in the competitive scene, when you're playing against actual other people who, like, will switch out and, like, know the type advantages and, like, will make reads and, you know, guess what your set might be and stuff like that. Like, things that technically the in-game AI could do, but I feel like it's tricky to find a balance with that without having them straight up reading your inputs and responding, like, basically cheating, you know? Like, it's hard to... I feel like it's hard to do that. Or unless you're, like, gonna go into a Nuzlocke or something like that. That does make things more interesting, sure. But even then, I don't know, it's a possibility I would do something like that for, like, if I went back to Renegade Platinum or something like that. But, which that would be really hard to Nuzlocke, granted, but it would at least be something interesting, like a shakeup, right? But more so than that, I had been spitballing the idea of replaying Pokemon XG, the hack of XD Gale of Darkness, and doing a Nuzlocke there, which, yeah, that would be tough too. But I just find, like, a lot of the mechanical differences, like, yeah, the battle mechanics are the same, but it's all doubles, so there's, like, more going on each turn, which makes things more dynamic inherently. And then you have all the shadow Pokemon elements involved as well, which is, like, another layer of interest. And then you have, like, having to catch your actual team members in the midst of trainer battles, as opposed to just, like, going out in the wild, chipping them down, statusing them. Like, you can still do that, but it's, like, in a higher risk environment, which I think is more interesting. Like, catching... That's the thing, like, catching Pokemon... Like, the act of catching Pokemon, right? Like, it is exciting to add someone new to your team, you know, especially when you don't know what they might evolve into, or what they might learn, or whatever, by level up, etc. Whatever. I can't help but think of the freaking... the parody animation. It's just like, look at these Beautyfly. It's like, okay. But, so, what was I saying? I feel like that's something that makes the Legends games interesting, is that, like, catching isn't just, oh, you're battling this single Pokemon and just, like basically rolling a die every single time you truck a ball, you know? A many-sided die, but still a die, right? Whereas, yeah, there's, like, the chance that it breaks out still if you land one in, like, Legends Arceus or something like that, but at the very least, like, you have to, like, you know, aim, and you have to, like, maybe sneak up behind them and stuff. Like, it's much more interesting there, right? I'm very curious to see, like ZA, no doubt. I haven't really looked at a ton of, like, ZA gameplay. I'm assuming the catching is pretty similar to Arceus, but with the focus not being on collect 20 of these same Pokemon, which I think I will be glad for. I'm more so curious to see how this like new sort of action cooldown sort of battle system plays out. Because like I was saying, like I do think the single battle, like tried and true formula, while great in the competitive context, whether it be VGC or a Smogon or like whatever, battle spot singles, like whatever it is, any of those, that's where those kinds of formats really shine. And I think, like I said, with Coliseum and XD, like the double battle format does create for more dynamic possibilities in terms of, like, again, playing against CPUs. But I don't know, I'm not really like, I don't know, I want those competitive scenes to continue, so like they kind of have to keep that battle system around in some form, which might end up being what what's it called, Champions ends up being, right? Because they're making a battle sim, and I'm wondering, like, I don't think they're ever going to abandon the typical battle formula wholeheartedly, but I could see it being more of an alternating between something different and then, like, and whether it continues the ZA battle system, maybe, but like I kind of assumed the next Legends game was gonna use Arceus's battle system, and it's not, so I don't know, but like kind of alternating between the standard battle system and something different, you know? And I think that something different is what I'm more so looking for, because the same old, like, even with the open world, it just, like, did not... I enjoyed my time with Scarlet and Violet fine, but, like, it did not leverage the open world well, in my opinion. But I say that about a lot of open world games, to be fair, so, yeah. And actually, for all of the shit that I give the open world Zeldas, I keep bringing this up stream over stream, but, I hope I haven't said this in the past. I actually think those games leverage the open world design better than a lot of other open worlds. It's just that the content there is not that interesting, in my opinion. And also the way the story's told is, like, horrendous, but that is technically leveraging the open world in that, like, you have to find these things scattered about, and, like, it would make sense in that sense to, like, have it be non-linear, but it's not really non-linear. It's a linear story that you can watch out of order with in terms of Tears of the Kingdom in particular. I like, in that instance, I lucked out and I actually found the area that has the symbols on the wall, and so, like, I intentionally did them in order because I went to that quest marker. I didn't happen to discover any of these things out of order. I think there was a quest marker there. Like, you go there, and, like, yeah, the portrait's on the wall, and, like, oh, that matches up with the symbols on the ground, and then, like, whatever, yeah. Stuff like that. I don't know. Wally gets his routes. And, you know, I considered running Gardevoir on the team, because it is kind of like an iconic Gen 3 mon. And plus it's a fairy type, so, like, that would give some representation to, you know, the new type that was introduced in this gen, and all of that. I have a different fairy type I'm gonna pick up at some point, but I decided against it just because I don't think Gardevoir is, like, that great in this gen, mostly because Psychic type is, like, sort of a worse fairy typing, and even though it's both, like, being weak to Ghost in particular from Gen 6 on is, like, pretty bad. And, like, what? That really just applies to Psychics and Ghosts, right? But Ghosts themselves are good, so, like, it doesn't matter if they're weak to Ghost, kind of thing. Like, there's a reason why Psychic types have kind of fallen off, in a lot of cases, at least. There's exceptions, sure, but... what's it called? Yeah, so because this is going to be the only Gen 6 game that and there's only 2 of them. It's only this and X and Y, but because this is the first and probably only Gen 6 playthrough I'll do on the channel, likely. Never say never, but, like, I don't know. The team is kind of a mix of Gen 6 mons and Gen 3 mons, which I think should be more exciting than if I did like sort of the tried and true starter, Breloom, whatever else. I typically pick up Flygon, which, actually not to spoil anything, but yeah, never mind. Flygon's gonna be on the team, guys. Spoiler alert. That's the only one I'll give you. And I guess now you know that Breloom's not gonna be on the team, so that's fair. Loading zone. So Northern 104 and Petalburg Woods are my pickups. And that's Psyduck. So I think I'm gonna grab my Petalburg Woods guy so that I'm not just rocking Torchic. We got the... Oh, I wasn't sure which, Can you turn? No. Grab our Petalburg Woods encounter. Let me make sure it's not like a horde or anything. Let's see. It just says grass, so... We just, just run around and look for it real quick. I don't want to power through to 104 yet, or Northern 104, for my third encounter just yet. Because I kind of want to clear things as I go. Yeah, like I said, the slowdown stuff should stop being a thing eventually. Nope, it's not Pichu. It's Pikachu. Yeah. And you know, there is like a weird thing with like the outlines on these models, but I think I turned off the HD textures to check, and I think it has a similar effect even without them turned on, so I don't think that is the fault of the HD textures. Because like, in battle, it like mostly looks fine. But like out of battle, it looks a little funky at times. Like almost like there's a ghosting effect, but I think it's just the outline being a little weird. Yeah, what are the odds of finding this thing? I guess there's a lot of options in Petalburg. Yeah, there's like 11 different mons you can find. Also, I should figure out what the asterisk is on this. Does that mean that I can't find it unless it's... Asterisk... 5%. Okay. So it's a 5% encounter, so I'm not going to sweat like nature or ability or anything like that. In fact, I haven't even checked... I don't think I've even checked Torchic's nature. Because I don't think that shows up in the battle summary. It usually doesn't, but... Let's see what we're rocking here. Where does it... Oh, it's just neutral? Okay. I mean, that's fine. A little boring, but fine. It's actually not terrible. I mean, like, you'd rather have, like... Well, there's one of the 5% encounters. Not the one I'm looking for, though. But, what was I saying? Because Blaziken can be a mixed attacker, right? I think it's... Isn't it 120 attack, 110 special attack or something? Being a neutral nature is not the worst thing ever. And we got speed boost to shore up any, like, speed issues anyway, right? We just have to deal with its frailty, basically. And see, this is what I mean, where it's like, I think for Nuzlocke's truly random encounters are better. I think it should be a toggle. Like, I imagine that, a Nintendo game or a Game Freak game with options. Wow. With options. And that's just a general sentiment. That's not even about a particular game. It's just like, geez, dude. Like, there's not, like, Metroid Dread, for instance, great game. I don't even think there's, like, volume sliders for specific aspects of the audio. Like, or at least Samus Returns didn't have that. If Dread does. But it's just like they took away the option to change it to set mode, right? Or like turn off battle animations, and it's just like, I think there should be an encounter toggle for the people who like don't want enemies in the overworld to do that, because let's face it, like whatever potential upsides or challenges or like whatever advantages or disadvantages from either, it's a Pokemon game, so it's probably not going to matter that much, right? It's not like how you could argue that random encounters versus overworld enemies could mess with balance in certain other JRPG series, maybe. Even then, I would argue enemies in the overworld, if anything, would make the game more challenging because you're probably not fighting as much, like if you're avoiding stuff. That also might have been the encounter that I was looking for. But I don't know if I would have to avoid the trainer encounters, and plus that's behind a cut tree, so never mind. But, yeah, a toggle would be nice, because I find this process really tedious. If I could just, like, look through the grass and be like, oh, like, there's the mon I'm looking for, and chuck a ball at it, like, that's what I'm looking for at this point. Because doing this to try to find the 5% encounter is just, like, I don't know, it's not fun to me. There it is. Yeah, so I'm not just going to use, like, broken shit unchecked. I'm also scared to attack this thing because I feel like it might die. I'm not just going to use a bunch of broken shit unchecked. There's going to be broken shit on this team. Don't get it twisted, but I'm going to use at least one or two mons that are not that great. I have to go see what the cat needs. Oh my god. There it is. Alright, I need to check on the cat because he's whining outside the door. Anyways, we got Danny Van Dump here. Don't know that I want to nickname him Danny necessarily. I actually don't know what I want to name this thing. Turns into a Trevenant. I want to just name him like a regular name. I don't know. I didn't consider this ahead of time. It's kind of on me. Anybody have ideas in the chat? Anybody want to claim a name for Danny Phantom here that isn't Danny? You can call him Danny for now, I guess, and just name Raider, change him later. Call him Poe, like after the Zelda Poe Souls. Ooh, wait a second. Skull Kid, maybe? I don't know if I want to name him Skull Kid, but maybe Stalfos or Shade after the Hero Shade or something like that. I don't know, I think something Lost Woods related in terms of like Zelda lore would work. Skull Kid seems a little... I kinda wish Skull Kid had like a name. Yeah, buddy. It's a tough choice in Hoenn between Blaziken and Swampert, though. Although, granted, I was a Trico guy at one point, but mostly because Grovyle is sick. What's it called? Skull Kid, Deku Scrub, Stalfos. What other terms do we have here? What about Dampy? What if I name him after the... That could kind of work with the accent on the E. Is that an option? Aha! We caught ourselves a Phantom. One of my favorite Gen 6 mons, even though he's kinda hot ass. Usually a trade Evo, now evolves at level 23, I wanna say. Do I have switching screens on a hotkey? No, I do not. Can I do that real quick? Let me see. Citra... Configure... Controls hotkeys... Oh, no, wait, because you can't hotkey a button on your controller. I think. In this emulator, which is unfortunate. I could still put it on, like, spacebar, maybe? Just so we can show off. If I ever need to swap screens, I can just spacebar this, but yeah. Got ourselves a grass type. We're doing a tried and true fire, water, grass boar to start. I had thought about doing Rose Raid, but then I was like, okay, Rose Raid's more of like, it's a Gen 4 mon, so like I kind of associate it more with Sinnoh. But like Roselia originating here, of course, could have been an option. But then I was like, you know what? When do I get to use Trevenant? Because I don't touch the Pokemon games past Gen 5 very often. And like I was saying earlier, like Lord knows I'm not playing X and Y if I can help it. Not that those games are terrible, but like I would just rather play like literally anything else. But or I'd rather play this, I guess, is what I really mean to say, without being too harsh, I guess. But yeah. So I was like, all right, well, I can use some of my favorite Gen 6 mons then in this case. And some of my favorite Gen 3 mons, and especially with Mega Evolution, which I have a particular Mega in mind. I was torn between two of them, but we won't have to cover that until we get to Dewford. So the thing is, do I want to switch train this? I guess switching Torchic in might be a little risky, but I want to see... See, I like that the Wingle's here. I wonder, wait, can I sneak up on him? Like, what does that do? I got stealth mechanics. This is the inkling that led to the Legends games. And I don't know, I'm actually looking forward to Legends ZA, surprisingly. But I think it's because it's different enough. You know? And it actually, like, even though it looks a few gens behind, like, it does not look like it's going to be a Scarlet and Violet situation. At least I hope, right? Got a Nidoran. I mean, we are, I guess, neutral to poison. Has, like, what, double kick? Maybe it has, like, Pursuit or Thief? I don't know. Just Confuse Ray. Has Peck. Ooh, there's kind of a lot. We live multiple, so it should be fine. And I think this was the gen that crits were nerfed from 2 times to 1.5. What does growth do in this gen? Is it attack and special attack? Yeah, attack and special attack. Also, what ability do we get? Frisk? Nah. This thing's abilities aren't, like, amazing. It's Natural Cure or Frisk, and then I think Harvest is its hidden ability, which would be my preference. In fact, I think ability capsules and patches, didn't they start in this game? So I could either change it through PKX or just give myself ability patches and capsules to change this up, assuming that Drayano didn't make those accessible somewhere else, and assuming I'm correct in that that wasn't a Gen 7 thing. I feel like bottle caps were the Gen 7 thing, right? But anyway, what I like about... oh, I guess I should speak on the results of the poll. So, like, I polled you guys as far as, like, whether you would prefer to see me do this as more of a casual playthrough or replay XG and do, like, a challenge run, whether it be a Nuzlocke or just, like, something fresh with it. And this one, it was, like, 67% in favor of this and 33% in favor of XG. That just means that I will postpone the XG thing until the next time I want to stream something Pokemon oriented, it'll be that. So, These were both always going to happen at some point. It was just a matter of which order I did them in. But what I think is cool about XG, there's a lot of things cool about XG. Like the fact that they were able to backport a lot of the mechanical things and moves and abilities especially, and held items from future gens into a Gen 3 game is awesome. That shit's super sick. And especially because ability capsules and patches are like accessible in that game, so it doesn't make... It actually gives you a chance to like change their abilities. And I guess, to be fair, I don't know if this is... Oh, fuck you. That was a crit. Damn it. Well, no experience on Phantom this time. Like I said, Phantom's kind of shit, but I think the design's cool, so we're gonna stick with it. I should have switched train. That was really dumb of me. Also, stop poison pointing every goddamn turn. But yeah. What was I gonna say? Oh, I guess like abilities in the GameCube games are probably pretty static, though, to be fair. Usually. Feather Dance is really good, actually. Yeah, it drops the opposing attack stat by 2. I think I'm just gonna get rid of Fire Spin. It does do damage over time, but it's also like weaker and less reliable than Ember. I'll probably replace like Tackle with Double Kick once we get that too. Damn, am I gonna like lose? Because Phantom would have been great against this thing. Damn. I think I have to like try to burn it maybe. Nah, Scratch was probably better, but... I do wish these battles went a little bit faster, though. That's what I will say. And that's something like similar to what I was saying about like translating things into 3D. It's just like... Maybe it's even less that. It's just like these battles are just slow, man. But then again, Pokemon battles are usually pretty slow. I think Gen 5 moves at a solid pace. But, you know, Gen 4 infamously slow. The ability in Renegade Platinum to double the frame rate in battle is great, because it doesn't alter the music. And it just makes things go at like an actual, like, manageable pace, right? I should probably potion up. But I also think this kills. Maybe. Yeah. Alright, so first attempt at using Phantom. Not great. Definitely my fault for staying in. Especially after the focus energy. And knowing that I wouldn't live a crit, but yeah. Oh. I don't mean to like keep laying into this game or anything, but if this was the gen where they did away with HMs, it would be like amazing. You know what I mean? Like that is one thing that is going to be a big sticking point here. Like yes, Rock Smash, and Flash are both TMs in this game, I think, unless they reverted them to HMs because they were actually HMs here. Well, no, because TMs are unlimited use. So like that was a big reason why they weren't just TMs. But like, yeah, so like at least Rock Smash and Flash should just be TMs so I can overwrite them when I don't want to use them. Oh, right. You're only at Battle in Emerald, right? Mr. Briny. But yeah, HMs are going to be a sticking point for sure. And you know, as much as I love the Gen 4 and 5 games, like it's still, like at least Renegade, it does away with a lot of the obstacles in terms of like strength and Rock Smash. It might even do away with the fog, in fact. On that one route, excuse me. But it also changed Rock Climb into an actual viable move. Like it's a rock type move that doesn't have shit accuracy kind of thing. It might not be 100%, but like it's at least not just like a normal move that will miss most of the time and is weaker than like other options that you would have anyway. So you wouldn't have like a physical fire move, right? I think I just scratch. Yeah, it does a lot. And like with Gen 5, there's not really like a ton of mandated HM use there either. It's still something that I don't like, but there is less of it. You know, Strength Boulders stay once you've placed them, for one. Not that you're going to backtrack a ton, but like, should you backtrack, the Strength Boulders like stay slotted in, like stay moved. Rock Smash is a TM there, Flash is a TM there. Cut is literally, I think, only mandated once in Black and White 1, and never in Black and White 2, I think. It's only for optional areas, which is much more acceptable. Surf is an actually good move, and it has been. Like, that's one of the few HMs that, like, you honestly kind of want to run anyway. Although once Scald becomes a thing, then it's like, okay, in some cases you'd probably rather run that for the burn chance, even in-game. But I guess, like, it's less an issue in Gen 5 with Scald versus Surf because the difference is bigger. It's 80 power with burn chance versus 95 power with no secondary effect. Whereas once they nerf Surf to 90, it's like Scald is kind of the no-brainer option past that point. Or like it's usually. Because the potential upside a burn can have is usually more than the extra power, than that Surf can do, once it was nerfed to 90. There's Ember a few times. God, this thing is so strong. I mean, I know it's a Lillipup and I'm 4 levels above, but like, I'm still impressed that that like cleanly 2 shots for some reason. Maybe my like little cup calcs. These aren't even little cup calcs. What am I saying? But it's like maybe my in-game calcs are rusty. Also, I'm still defaulting to the D-pad, which is not ideal. I just want to get... How do you pronounce it even? Dompe? I want to get Dompe some levels. He'll be one of my first fully evolved mons, at least, because he evolves at 23 and it's only a 2-stage. Got the Venonat. I can stay in for now. Leech Life. Oh, this is pre-buff Leech Life, isn't it? Because this hack came out the same year as Sun and Moon, 2016. So I don't think a lot of, like, changes in that regard were made in this hack. Which is honestly fine. But yeah, Leech Life got a major buff. Also, it wouldn't make sense for Pokemon this early to have 80 power Leech Life. Anyway, so... It would be interesting, this has never occurred to me, it would be interesting, of course you have repetitive moves, like moves that, you know, serve similar functions, do similar things, and you have moves that are like kind of straight upgrades, like, you know, Ember to Flamethrower, for instance. The only downside is less PP, but like, it's like rarely an actual concern, especially considering the base power difference, from 40 to 95, or 90 in this game's case, right? It would be interesting though, like, if there was some kind of mechanic where you could like level up your moves or something. So you take a move like Leech Life that has the healing secondary effect, but you can like improve it or something, like by using it more, maybe? Like, I don't know, there's something... I know that kind of breaks the conventions of like certain JRPG systems, but there's something to that. Like, I guess Final Fantasy II kind of does that. with its spells, instead of having the different levels of spells. Like, you level up Fire, and eventually it is as powerful as Fire Raga would be, kind of thing. And the MP cost escalates with that. See, I'm kind of curious. I kind of doubt that'll be the case in ZA, but I'm like kind of curious as to how that battle system is going to function. Gotta be careful not to get Pursuit trapped against mons that actually have Pursuit in this gen. I should put Ember in the first slot. I should do that. But yeah, I kind of anticipate sort of doing one gym per stream. Like, maybe more, just because some... Like, Brawly's segment is really quick, actually, and then getting to Watson kind of takes a while. If you're fighting every trainer, which I probably will do. Since there's so many trainers surrounding Mauville. And then, like, yeah, Flannery is a while, but then, like, Norman you can do, like, instantly. Winona takes a while, and then, like, you can kind of do Tate and Liza and Wallace sort of, like, as quickly as you want. The one area where I probably won't battle every trainer is on the water routes, because that's just, like, why. Usually that's, like, the exception to me doing that. But it depends on how under-leveled I feel, I guess. I don't think I mean, I have so many potions. So, like, I could just get Lazula back to full. Just make a save. Not that I anticipate soft resetting, but just in case it crashes. Can you actually show him a Shroomish and be like... I know in Gen 3 you can't. I'm not as big a fan of this variation of the encounter theme, but then again, like I said, I'm more of a Ruby guy typically. This theme does slap though. He's got a Purloin off rip. You gonna pursue me? Nope. December. It's fine. We're still, like, you know, pre-Gym 1. Okay, tank those. As long as I don't just, like, you know, miss every single attack following this. Level 15. Flame Charge. A little redundant with their speed boost. But 50 base power physical is pretty great. Let me think. What does Scratch cover that Flame Charge wouldn't? Like, I'm probably not standing on water types anyway, or rock. Well, rock types Scratch doesn't help against anyway, but... I would say get rid of Ember, but I'd like having a means to hit specially as well. So I think I'm just going to get rid of Scratch. Right, because Peck is coverage against fighting for Brawly. But then again, I'm going to get Double Kick. Maybe I do just get rid of Ember. Because, like, is hitting specially going to matter for a while? Probably not. Right? Like, Roxanne resists. Brawly... The burn chance is nice, though. And what's the next fire move I would get? Blaze Kick? Like, unless there's something new in the move pool. Flame Burst, maybe? But I don't even know if that's a guarantee. Let me look up the learn set for this thing in this hack real quick. Pokemon changes... It does get Flame Burst. It actually gets it normally. Yeah, okay. Also learns Aerial Ace by level up, interesting, but only Torchic learns that. It's also a TM, so like I'm not really too concerned with going out of my way for that. But yeah, so we'll get Flame Burst as a special option, in which case I'm just gonna get rid of Scratch. And then in terms of Double Kick, like maybe I'll get rid of Ember at that point, but I guess that's one level from now usually, right? Carvanha. The problem is I'm gonna Feather Dance you once. Yeah, the problem is like this thing kind of actually messes up my team really bad. Because like, yeah, I have a Grass type, but it's also a Ghost, so that's a problem. I think I'm gonna simply Feather Dance this. Oh, it dodged because of Sand Attack. That's great. I could use items in battle. I don't know that it's gonna matter. I'm gonna try to like not. I mean, it's not gonna be a hard and fast rule, but we can try to an extent. Confuse Ray, even though I lowered your attack already. How much does Bite do? Oh my god, crit. No? Wow. Wow, even at -2. Okay. This Phantom has his work cut out for it, that's for damn sure. Shit. Well, yeah, I kind of screwed myself here, didn't I? I kind of needed to hit itself in confusion so I can heal up Torchic in the back. Hit yourself, hit yourself, hit yourself. Fuck. Well, what? That did... I have 33 health. It got me down to 10, so it does 23. So yeah, crit does super kill me. That's annoying. Hit yourself. Yes. Okay. That's good at least. I think I need Torchic to win. Then again, if he like crits Aqua Jet, then like that's kind of terrible also. I'm probably slower. So yeah, I'm not even gonna bother trying to flinch. Hits itself again. That did a lot, surprisingly. Wow, that did a lot too. Shit. The roughest of skins. I know this is probably a bad play, but I would like for Dompe to get experience. If it hits itself, it just dies. It goes for Bite. That's... yeah, I was like, that's a crit. Oh, fuck me. Dude. Why is the cursor saved like that? What the fuck? Usually I like that turned on in JRPGs anyway, but in this case I was trying to heal this, but then I get it crit, so maybe it wouldn't have mattered. Fuck. Okay. Well, I have to just not get crit here. Okay. Look at you, look at... dude, Dompe putting in a freaking killer performance there, okay. Despite my many attempts to choke. Dompe just needs a grass move. I don't know if he can learn Bullet Seed or not, we'll see. The EXP share, it depends on the RPG, but like sometimes it's nice for reserve members to get some EXP, but I don't know. I mean, this is also a Dray hack, so I'm like, I wonder, are there any notes as far as like that he balanced it around the EXP share? I know some of the Gen 7 hacks out there, not by Drayano, but by like Diovento or was it Buffalo Saft or something like that? Some of the wrong hackers out there. I think some of those say like that it's balanced around you having the EXP share turned on. So I'm not sure. But I'm gonna say no for now. If it becomes an issue and I'm like drastically over-leveled, because the thing is, like, with those aforementioned hacks, from what I understand, those games... Oh, healed us, nice. Those games go up to, like, literally level 90, like, into the 90s and level 100 by the champion. Dray's hacks are usually not like that. They're usually gonna, like, opposing trainers and bosses and stuff will usually outpace you, but not... You're not reaching, like, level 90 by the end of the game kind of thing. Not quite, at least. And Kata always confused me as a kid, because I was like, wait, it's weak to fire and water? What the hell is this thing? Turns out it's bug ground. Very strange type combination that I don't think exists outside of this mon. Is there another bug ground type? I don't think so. Sandy Cloak Wormadam. Wow. What a combo. I just flame charge. Well, okay, I guess... I don't know, maybe the EXP share would be good, though, because I would be switch training this thing anyway. Surskit. You probably have a water move anyhow, so it might make sense to switch out. Tricky thing, I think, was, like, Phantom starting at level 9. I think once it catches up, it'll be better. Also outplayed. Bellstanger. Nope, not even close. Just Astonish for the stab damage. Good chunk. I'd check Dampe's nature as well. Sweet Scent, another, like, a move that is really odd because it's one of the few non-HM moves that you can use out of battle. Even all the way back in Gen 3. I think it just, like, it guarantees an encounter, like, it just spawns an encounter. If you're in grass. Or, like, you know, in an area that encounters can spawn in. Ooh, that's huge. Oh my god. I don't care about contests. I want to just press down and have it go to this. Jeez. 75 base power is crazy. We just get rid of tackle. Yeah. Hornleech is insane this early. Roxanne's gonna get probably destroyed by this. Let me reorganize my moves real quick. No, I'm not. Growth. We're just confused, right? Step back. I mean, that'll be coverage. I'll probably just put double kick over Ember, maybe. I know Flame Charge is redundant with speed boost, but like it's not. It's still just like better than my other options right now. Long term, it will not be a factor. Like, even Cut in this game is an HM, man. Like, the fact that I'm gonna have to come back... at least it's probably a grass-type move, so it's probably not terrible, though. What I always found weird, though... I think the Delta episode stuff is cool, and I plan on doing it during this playthrough. Why did they move the berry trees? Oh, right, you don't get Bullet Seed, you get garbage instead. I mean, I guess we'll see. It's been a while since I played this game in any form. But I seem to remember that being, like, the only instance of Zinnia, like, foreshadowing prior to the Delta episode, which I always found, like, odd. But maybe she actually... Maybe she's like an NPC you can talk to in, like, the hideout or something, or... I don't know. We'll see. I don't anticipate myself doing much berry growing, but it's kind of a habit of mine to just, like, come in here and get the free berries in the pail and all that. The Wilmer pail. I do like how your character, like, squats down when he talks to... Isn't that rude, though? Isn't that considered rude? I don't know. Oh, wait a second. So... My third encounter is here, but it's in a horde specifically. Now I need to remember how you actually get a horde to happen. I don't know if it's just random or if it is something you can manip. As usual, you can trigger horde battles through the use of honey or sweet scent. Bellsprout, Surskit, Swirlix, and Spritzy come with sweet scent. Is that the only way? In which case, how do you get honey in this game? That would have been something nice to, like, give you in the berry shop, maybe. Chorus, Ball Arbor Town, or from a fan in a contest hall, super rank. Okay, so Fall Arbor Town? What? That's way too far. So in that case, maybe we try to catch a Surskit is probably around here. Since that'll have sweet scent and allow me to get my horde encounter. Surskit. We're not 102 even. Wait, you're telling me Surskit is only on Route 102? What about Bellsprout? Route 102. That's it, really? Swirlix? Might as well check, because, like, who knows where these things are found. 104 South, that's more like it, because I don't want to go all the way back to the beginning. If I can help it. Swirlix and Spritzy. 104 South. And they are 5% encounters. Honestly worth it. Honestly, well, you know what I'll do? I'm going to grab these hidden items real quick. And I might even actually Google if that's... I feel like hordes can just randomly happen, though, but maybe that's only in X and Y. It's over here, right? No? I don't know what this is, but... It's a snowball! Look at this little guy. And he's a fairy type, so he's not complete garbage. Don't crash. Thank you. Make a save. I'm gonna Google hordes, ORAS. Horde encounters, Cerebi. Horde encounters are a feature that were first introduced in X and Y. Face 5 wild Pokemon at the same time. I guess this will be kind of a dangerous thing to try to catch this thing, though, to be fair, but... Because I have to, like, you know, kill the other 4. I think, maybe? Okay. When you have a horde encounter, you don't always see if I was... Okay. These battles are only located in certain places. So, like, normally hordes are only in certain locations, but you can use Sweet Scent to have them spawn. Maybe that's specific to this hack or something. Either way, that's a little annoying. Not the worst thing ever. I'm gonna backtrack in that case. Real quick. I'm trying to think if it'd be better to go for one of the two 5% encounters here, or just go back to 102 and get a Surskit or Bellsprout. Wait a second. Don't you dare disappear on me. I don't know these things' cries that well, but I'm kind of like, wait. No, it's a Sowaddle, okay. Sowaddle. I swear, guys, the slowdown stuff should stop at some point. It should. It should stop at some point. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna run back, grab a Surskit on 102. Oh, that's here. I don't know why I thought that was north of Oldale. I don't know. I always seemed convinced as a kid that, like, you know, Lotad and stuff would spawn near the water, but I don't think it matters at all. Like, I don't think it actually matters which patch of grass, as long as you're on that route. Oh, that was like a... Wasn't that a Surskit? God damn it. Can I forget how this works. Yeah, so I haven't encountered it. Oh, because I haven't caught it. Yeah. You just get a regular encounter, I guess. As I catch our Surskit, use Sweet Scent on Northern Route 104, hope that I get the right Horde encounter, and then actually catch it. I feel like that's a Surskit, is it not? Where the fuck is it? It's this way. That sounds like a Surskit to me. Yeah, it is. It's level 16, though, so I don't even know if it's guaranteed if it will still have Sweet Scent or not. Even if it doesn't, though, then I can at least Dex Nav look for, like, a regular one. It has honey, also. If only I had Thief. If only I had Thief. I'm gonna Confuse Ray. Ba-da-ba. Hits itself. Oh my god, that does a lot. Wait, I don't want you to... Oh, it was a crit. That makes more sense. Still go for catching this. In fact, I'm forgetting where... I know where team members number 4 and 6 are, but number 5 I should look at. Okay, that tracks. That tracks. Alright, fingers crossed. It has... Well, I guess it doesn't even matter if it has sweet... Well, okay, honey gives me like one chance to get the horde that I need. Let me look at the correct menu. You do not have Sweet Scent, unfortunately. But what I can do now, we can show off the Dex Nav a little bit, is I can... Well, then again, wait, if I search for this, is it going to give me a higher level guy, or... Oh, it's level 6. Okay, so that is more promising. It's like an actual, like, It's like an actual level that this thing might still have Sweet Scent at. Just gonna chuck a ball. See, like, this stuff can be fun. It's just, I don't know, maybe I'm just being too curmudgeonly. It's possible. And, like, no, I'm not actually using Masquerade on the team, but... let's see, do you have Sweet Scent? Hell yeah. I do think it's funny how the music tries to catch up. Like, ba-da-da, ba-ba-da-da, da-da-da-da-da-da, and then it, like, settles down. It's dumb as shit. I could probably, I don't know, I could probably tweak some settings and make it, like, less choppy. I guess we'll just hold on to these for now. I might stubbornly come back after I get my encounter. To box the Surskits so that they're not on my squad. That's like one advantage having access to the PC at all times enables. But like, look, not that Pokemon games are ever like a challenge really, especially these days, but it does, like, I don't know how to feel about it. Because I'm like, I think there should be a mix of like sandbox build your team stuff and also here's a gauntlet of challenges kind of stuff, you know? It's similar to like what I said about SMT5. Great game, awesome game, but it's lacking in like the dungeon crawling. Like, the bosses are challenging enough to where it doesn't really matter that much, but I'm like, I'd like for some restricted linear dungeons to then take my sandbox constructed team into, sort of deal. Because the sandbox elements, they're cool, but when that's all there is, I feel like you're kind of like missing something, I guess, in my opinion. But I like puzzle box dungeons, so that's my problem, I guess. In fact, I could just use these honeys. Get a horde. And there we go. Also, this is good because I can identify which of them have Protean, which... Worst case, again, Giga Hex, or I just import. No, it can actually have... Protean's not a hidden ability in this case. That's the good thing, is that it's interesting. Starters only have one standard ability, and then once they added hidden abilities, they got one there too. But because there is a second ability slot that can be used, usually in these ROM hacks, they'll just take, like, if a Pokemon only has one ability, they'll put the hidden ability in the second ability slot, which is neat. So what I want to do this turn, do I have to, will it let me throw a ball? Okay, so I need to kill the remaining ones, which can help Dompe get experience that he needs, or I could use Surskit, that's true. In fact, I don't even mind if Dompe gets knocked out because I have a higher level Surskit. I have a higher level Surskit that should deal with whatever, and I can identify which ones have Protean. Although I don't know... Okay, so the middle one is not Protean. The far right one is not Protean. The second to left one is not Protean. So the far left one is the only Protean one, from what I can tell. It's lit that one of them is Protean, though, because that's definitely what you want with Gren. Yeah, this is fine. Just gotta make sure that I don't accidentally click run. Alright, for the good of the team. Oh wait, there's two Protean users. I know for sure the middle one is not, though, right? Just take out one at a time. We'll just Psybeam. It shouldn't matter, because we're 6 levels above. Yeah, well that actually... Okay. That actually kind of does a lot, but... Oh, that 2 shots? Should be okay. Protean, but we resist at least. And also, it's already stab anyway, so... Oh, and this is broken Protean. This is before the nerf. Was that Gen 9 that they nerfed it? I think it was, because I think Cinderace had regular Libero, which is basically just Protean. I think it had regular pre-nerf one, Libero in Gen 8, I think. Maybe? Just don't die. Oh, fuck. Oh, wait, we actually lived. Okay. No, shit. Fuck. I think I kind of choked this. Roro. I mean, I still have Sweet Scent and I still have another Honey, so it doesn't really matter. What is going to do more here? Flame Charge is 50, plus Stab is 75, divided by 2 is 37.5. Right? Math? So it's more than Peck, which is 35. So this is actually better, yeah. That one seems... Okay, that was a crit. I was like, that one seems strong as shit. That almost kills, which is upsetting that it doesn't fully kill. Just... Okay, thank God. Okay. Okay, thank God. I was like, don't para. Don't para. So I... For sure take this out. This is so annoying. This definitely kills me. Oh wow, it actually didn't. With all these speed boosts... I think I'm still fucked though, because they have quick... I mean, I can... It would be a little poetic for Azula to evolve here. After dealing with a horde of Froakies that, despite being 5 levels under, are kind of a problem. Oh my god, stop. They can't para what's already para'd. Yeah, the thing is, Protean doesn't proc unless they, like, do something different. But I know the far left one is Protean for sure, assuming that I can actually, like, you know, do anything. How am I still slower, also? I'm ass. I should have healed beforehand, to be fair. I should have not been bad. Yeah, that's super, super dead. Yeah, I should have fully healed so that I have the level 16 Surskit to, like, actually deal with this. It's quite annoying. Yeah, so I'm gonna lead. I'm gonna lead with you. Have Dompe in the back once there's fewer of them on the field with what's it called? I'm also gonna buy... Wow, these are so cheap, what the fuck? I feel like it's overkilled it by 10. I'm gonna buy 5 more potions. And... Who buys antidotes? But then again, like, maybe it would be good to have a few. I'll just buy 5. think we're fine. Round 2. But yeah, I really wanted to use Gren. Because like I said, like I just don't play... if I played more competitive, then like, yeah, I'd have opportunities to use Gren. But as far as in-game, it's like, well, yeah, there are hacks. Like, Emerald Rogue is one that I play pretty... not super regularly, but like... that's something I mess around with here and there. And that has like... all the way up to Gen 8 mons, I think. Maybe even... it might even have some 9 mons, maybe? But, yeah, like, not many opportunities on, like, a standard playthrough to use Gren. Because I would usually default to, like, Platinum or one of the Gen 5 games or something. But, yeah. Let's see if we get a Prokia Horde again. Nope, we get the Turtwig Horde. Which honestly, like, could have been a fun alternative to Phantom. But again, it's like, well, it's a Gen 4 mod, so like there's plenty of opportunities for me to use that. But I'd rather use a Gen 6 one if that... oh, what am I doing? I need a Sweet Scent. Bum, 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 ba, na, 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 na. Do I have any... I don't have any TMs, right? Just echoed voice. Bleh. You know what I'll do? Give you an Oranberry also. Oh, maybe actually... maybe Cherryberry in case of Lick Para? And then... dude, stop lagging. And then the Sweetest of Scents. Does a Surskit not smell as sweet? Isn't that like some line from like Romeo and Juliet or some shit? Stop giving me Turtwigs, goddammit. God damn. Do I need to, like, bump the resolution down or something? Like, I don't even... it doesn't really bother me that much. I mean, like, it does. I wish it wasn't there, but I'm also, like... it's for, like, a single playthrough. It's, like, whatever, but... yeah, so the thing is... do I outspeed? I would assume so, but I want to also see... but then again, I know Psybeam doesn't kill, so I probably should just Psybeam, right? And they also have Quick Attack. Okay, the right one actually has Protean. Don't crash. I don't know if Protean procs off a Growl or not. Got the Cherry Berry. Like, Protean might not have procced for that one because... can you stop? Also, I should have agility turn 1. Stop! Oh my fucking god. This thing is... it's also slow as shit. And so I'm just like, okay, can you just, like... I can turn battle animations off, but then it's like, what's the point? Just, like, show me what happened. Oh my god. A million years. It's been 3,000 years, fuck's sake. And I can't do anything. I can't fucking do anything. I have to, like, pray that they all, like... the thing is, I got crit immediately, I got double para'd. I know it's excuses to get good, whatever. It's just like, dude, can y'all stop? I should have agility turn 1, though. That was a misplay. This is, like, actual... this is my hell, right here. I'm gonna keep this alive. I'm gonna sack the level 6, go into Phantom, try to at least kill 1, maybe 2. And then, like, maybe heal up Surskit. It's fucked. we're screwed. If this thing lives one round, then... Oh! Maybe? Then it might actually be okay. Why are you all going for Growl all of a sudden? It seems so weird. Okay. It's actually really good. Because I think... Like, it's doing nothing on 1 HP when they all have quick attack anyway, so... I think I'm gonna do this. Torchic actually kind of lived one round last time, I think, because the AI is, like, dumb as shit. But I think I'm gonna go into Phantom, kill the left side one to make, like, some progress. Try to. My god. Please, please, thank you. I was like, if you don't break through here, I'm screwed. Alright, at least we get rid of one of them. We know for sure the far right one, the one on the far right side, is Protean. Now... I think I just have to heal this Surskit up to full health. Again, if the other ones just growl for no reason... Okay, never mind. Alright, Dompe, just taking another one for the team. It's all good, buddy. You're already a ghost. How much worse can it get? I think I'm going to go into this. Just to heal up the para. Because I don't want my evolution to get eaten up here, and plus I think that would make me miss out on double kick also. Maybe it just learns it before it evolves, actually. Let me see here. I think it's Night Slash at 17 if you don't evolve it. Yeah, it gets double kick at 16. This is before they did, like, evolution moves. Like, where you get it on evolution instead of at a certain level. So yeah, I would miss double kick if this thing hits 16 and does not evolve. So I cannot risk that. Did I already Cherry Berry? Yeah, I did. Does Feather Dance hit everything? No. Well, that sucks. Well, I know this isn't one shot. Okay. That was also a crit, which is kind of crazy. The most defensive Froakie of all time. Alright, Torchic goes down. But we go... This is a mess, dude. If I didn't have this level 16 Surskit, this would literally be impossible right now. Which is upsetting. If I attempt this again, I'm gonna Agility turn 1. Because I think that is one of my bigger mistakes. Thank Christ. I was like, I swear to God if you para, dude. I swear to God. Do I Agility? No, I think I just have to, like, attack and just... Yeah, I like how fast that one on the right is, too. Growl is fine. Just keep spamming Growl. That's fine. Just... Yeah, grr. Yeah, just... Yeah, that'll get you somewhere. Fucking morons. As I just mercilessly knock them out one by one. They're just trying to defend their homes. They didn't do anything wrong. And then I take the strongest one and I raise it. Raise it to be the strongest Froakie in existence. Totally fucking up the ecosystem. This is why you don't think too hard about Pokemon, alright? This is why you don't think too hard about it. In terms of at least how our society functions, I guess. Okay. I do need to heal. But we have isolated the strongest one. If there was a flea chance, I would snap my damn controller in half. Alright. Premier Ball could be cool, but I'm surprised there's not, like, Pokeball customization, even to this day. Like, why is that not a thing? Or, like, why can you not just, like, swap your Mon to, like, a different ball after having caught it? Maybe that's a thing in Gen 9, maybe. I don't know. But even then, the fact that it took so long for something like that to happen is kind of dumb. Because I just like the look of the standard Pokeball. There are other types of balls... There are other types of Pokeballs that I like the looks of. But, ultimately, if I could choose to have my whole team be in regular Pokeballs, I would. And that's usually what I just go for anyway. It's usually not an issue. Usually not an issue. You're at half health. Oh my god. Why are you so strong? Stop critting. It's all good. It's all good. Still have a good number of opportunities, I think. Yeah, still got 17 Pokeballs left. A few potions, come on now. Come on, man. Can't weaken you any further. I mean, maybe if I go for Bubble Beam, but I really do not want to risk that after how much of a hassle this was. Come on. Wait, I guess it is changing its type too, so I would have to be careful on that. But I think I just keep chucking Pokeballs until the Miltanks come home. Bro. Better be fucking worth it, dude. Come on. Thankfully, Quick Attack has a oh my god, stop critting! This thing has Protean and Super Lock. That's crazy. And the new ability called Ball Buster that I just invented that makes catching it a pain in the ass. That would be funny if that was an actual ability, though. Terrible ability. For, like, actual battles, but funny. Maybe it also gives you a... It's like bulletproof. You know, like, immunity to ball moves, but also immunity to... Or, like, resistance to Pokeball catching? I don't fucking know. I wish this game would stop lagging, because this computer is actually good, but kind of ass. Is there anything I can do? Like, configure graphics, like, or, yeah, oh, I can't change the internal resolution, but what about what it's upscaling to? I don't know. I thought you could normally change this with the game open, but maybe I'm wrong. Whatever. Fucking finally we get team member number 3. 2 hours in. I'm thinking Uzumaki for this one. Probably. Because of the whole Sage Frog motif. And I don't want to name it Naruto straight up, I feel like it's a little on the nose. I guess Jiraiya could have been another option, but he's not like a bulky toad like Jiraiya, you know? Fucking finally, okay. What are we looking at here? Rodian. Hasty nature, not terrible for a mixed attacker. It's like what? I admittedly looked this up a few days ago, but what is it? 103 special attack and like 90 some attack. So it's like, it's pretty much a mixed attacker. And yeah, I know Battle Bond is busted, but I don't even think, is Battle Bond even in this game? I have no idea. But yeah, plus speed is good though. It's already fast, but like it's a mixed attack. Like if I'm gonna run mixed attacks, like I'd rather have it be minus a defense than anything. Bubble, quick attack, a lick attack. Jesus Christ! All right. I'm gonna go back and heal, and then we'll actually push onto Rustboro. And I'm trying my best to not feel like I'm regretting playing this game, but it should be fine. It should be fine. I can manage one last, let's say, playthrough of ORAS. Again, not that I think this game is bad necessarily. It's just like it's partially a, you know, the thing with the single battle thing that I mentioned earlier that I talked about ad nauseum, that applies to like pretty much every mainline Pokemon game. It's that and more so, wait, what button do you use to, oh, they changed it back to select, okay. We'll keep you guys around just in case. But yeah. Also, Dambe is timid, which is like literally the worst ability possible, or literally the worst nature possible on this thing. It has terrible special attack, so like lowering its attack is bad, and raising its speed is bad because it's not fast. So that will likely get a change. Yeah, it's actually awful, but I'm not trying to reroll another 5% encounter. See the problem? Like, again, if it was a Nuzlocke, and like, in those kinds of circumstances, I don't mind rocking with whatever, but in that case, you're not building a specific team of 6. It's like when you are, I'm like, I don't necessarily want everything to be perfect, but it's like having nature mints accessible to some degree at least. Which those were not a thing until Gen 8, I think. But like, it is as simple as adding items like ability capsules or nature mints to the pool of accessible items like in a regular playthrough, should you want to use them. So it's not like an automatic thing of like, I need these to be perfect off the bat, but like, give me a way to change it though. I guess it defeats the purpose of like going and catching multiple in the hopes of that, but that's not, to me, that's not fun. Especially when it's a 5% encounter. Like, I guess you could chain it with the Dex Nav. That's the one upside with Gen 6 in particular, compared to the other games, is that you have a more reliable way to encounter a specific mon, to be fair. But I'm like, I don't know. I'm not like breeding a competitive team here. I just want not dog shit natures, basically. I just want them to not be terrible. A good lead on my part. I'll go ahead and try this. Not quite a 2 KO, unfortunately. Confuse Ray. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Alright, good. Thing is, it outspeeds me if I go for quick attack, so I kind of need to heal here because I just know that I would ended up getting crit if I went for quick attack. Anyway, dude. I guess it wouldn't have mattered anyway, but yeah. And see, this is why I'm nervous to, like, go back to Gen 7 also. I think there's a lot of good stuff in Gen 7. But I'm, like, really nervous about the, like, the pacing things, not only with, like, story dialogue stuff, but especially, like, even with the battles, too. I'm just, like, I just don't know. Like, it's not normal, like, for the sake of streaming, it's fine, but, like, under normal circumstances, I wouldn't go out of my way to play something like this, because I would rather play a JRPG that, like, has snappier combat. But, like, you know, Pokemon also means a lot to me in terms of, like, you know, especially in terms of what it meant to me when I was younger, right? Like, I don't really like the newer games all that much. I think they're fine, like, I, like, enjoyed them fine, even for all their faults, but it's kind of like, what are you putting that magnifying glass on? What are you doing? But, I don't know, to me, it feels like sort of a, for me, I'm not saying that for everyone, but for me, it feels like a shallow form of entertainment in that case. Like, if I'm having fun, it's like, okay, well, like, to what degree am I having fun that I wouldn't be having that same amount of fun, if not more, and also feeling more engaged and challenged and like all these other things besides fun, right, in another game, if I was playing another game, you know what I mean? And again, I'm not trying to be, I hate it because, like, I'm not trying to be like a hater or anything like that to that degree. Because, you know, I don't know. Yeah, I guess, like, do I just take the evolution here? Do I think he's gonna go for... I might pivot Dambe real quick. See if he goes for, like, Stun Spore or something, trying to catch the immunity there. Yeah, Leech Seed, nice. Because the thing is, like, even though the GameCube games are slow, they provide... I feel like they provide a level of engagement that is, like, higher than the... like, pretty much all the mainline titles, honestly. Especially even, like, in vanilla, for all of them. But, like, you know, when I'm clicking Astonish 15 turns in a row or whatever, it's like, that's when the speed of the battles becomes annoying. But, like, in Coliseum or XD, it's like, you can't really play those games like that. Like, maybe in certain circumstances you are, but... I just, at least not to the same degree. Take Water Pulse over Bubble. Hoppip? Hip Hoppity. Let's go into... yeah, I think I just go Torchic. Like... I don't know. I don't want to keep being like, look at the idle animations, but it's like, the hair is twirling, but it's barely moving beyond that. It looks strange. It's just, I don't know. To me, I'm like, at that point, why even bother having incorporated them here, right? Sort of thing. But then that's how, like, Dexit happened, and then, like, they still didn't really fix the animations there anyway, so it's like, yeah, but there has to, like, if Pokemon is ever gonna get back to the level of polish it once was, and, like, finality as far as, like, how complete it actually feels, as well, and how robust, like, the mechanics might be, and, like, just like, it's going to require some level of like scaling back the scope, you know, which is why I kind of think like jumping to 3D as fast as they did, as fast and loose as they did, and then jumping to open world in a sense as fast and loose as they did as well, I think it's kind of a mistake. But I think that like ZA at least lets them scale things back to a degree, right? Which I think is good. New battle system and all that, but like it's a more contained setting. Even if it might be open, it's like it doesn't like have the same kind of promise or like expectations in terms of scope that a typical open world does. That's why I think ultimately the Gen 6 and 7 games are like they're not bad, because at least like the scope is in check, you know. That's like something that had me a little nervous about the Gen 4 remakes when we thought it was going to be like, oh, you turn Sinnoh into Sword and Shield openness, and I'm like, well, how does that even work though? Especially because those were pixel art games, so like it's the same prospect of like if you were to remake Final Fantasy VI in 3D. It's like the scope that would require, because of the the abstraction of pixel art, right? And how these, like, especially with Final Fantasy, how these environments are not like actually this scaled down. So like you'd have to make them even grander, but then in 3D with higher fidelity, and then it's just like I feel like that kind of thing is asking too much. And kind of asking for like something to go wrong. You know what I mean? But I guess like less so with Pokemon, but then like the opposite thing happened with BDSP, right? It was like not ambitious enough. So like, would I rather a remake be disappointing because it's too ambitious, or not ambitious enough? Probably the former. Because then at least like you still have the original anyway. If it's too safe, then it's like, well, what is incentivizing me to play this over the original kind of deal? And there might be a reason. So usually smaller types of reasons, sure. But yeah. Do I think Lotad actually has anything that can hit Froakie? Also, I can change my type. Also, this is neutral. And also, C-Dot might just straight up go for Bide or something dumb. Bullet Seed. That's neutral. Please don't hit 5 times. Are you serious? Are you Skill Link? Did you steal a loaded dice from 3 gens later? Am I unlucky as shit? Take your pick. Option C. That is the answer. I don't know, what's the bigger threat? Bullet Seed does jack shit to like anyone else. So I'm just gonna go for this. Thankfully, I don't think... There's the Fisherman, but I have to choose to talk to him, so I can go heal up in Rustboro and then come back. Nice. Yeah, I don't know, I guess I just confused Ray again. I think Trevenant actually has a decent move pool. So like eventually I'll have options beyond just like dual stab and status. I kind of really want a coverage move on him if possible. I'll just Astonish, I guess. Let me see here. What does Phantom get by level up in this hack? Also, happiness has a chance to, like, if it's at high happiness, it also evolves, if that happens before level 23. And even though, yeah, Trevenant has, like, an actual level up list, it's actually more or less the same. Faint Attack, Shadow Claw, Leech Seed, Curse, Willow, Forest's Curse, which I forget what it does, Woodhammer, Phantom Force, Debond. But I think there's TM options as well at a certain point. Like, Shadow Claw is going to be nice. Of course for minus attack, but that doesn't, it's not going to matter too much. Wait, really? There's no reflections here? That's specifically past... That's disappointing. That was like a big thing with the original game. Obviously they were like, it wasn't like true reflections kind of deal, it was more like, I don't know, whatever. But I think that is the case though in a later route, which is pretty cool. Also, I don't want to come off as someone who's, like, just nitpicking this remake for the sake of being a remake of a game I grew up with. Because I don't really, like... I talked about it in my Pokemon tier list that I did a while back. I don't really feel like that drawn in by Gen 3 sort of just generally. I really like Hoenn as a region a lot, but... I almost feel like for me... Even though, like, I would say Emerald is probably the better Hoenn game, it's still, like, even with ROM hacks and stuff, it's just, like, not really as exciting for me to go back and play compared to, like, Gens 4 or 5, basically. Like, Emerald Rogue works because it's a roguelike, so, like, it's got something different to it, you know? Also, a wider pool of mons and lots of options in terms of what kinds of runs you can do and shit. Like, it's just, like, I don't know, that hack is awesome, first of all, but it's also just, like, a more exciting way to, like, scratch the Pokemon itch, I guess, in a lot of cases. Because overall, I do think these are solid remakes. Like, I don't think they are amazing cream of the crop kind of thing, but I don't think they're bad either as remakes, you know? The biggest sticking point for myself and a lot of other people is like, well, where's the... Like, why not build a remake based off Emerald or something? But it's, like, kind of weird, because, like, you know, HCSS, it's like, it wasn't... With HCSS, they kind of integrated Crystal content into... two separate remakes, version-exclusive remakes. But here, it's like, because it's different teams, it's like, well, Emerald kind of merged those two ideas. So, like, it wouldn't have really worked to the same degree, but then it's like, begs the question, well, why not just do a Delta Emerald then, instead of doing Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire? And that's because the third versions don't usually sell as well, and so doing remakes of the pair of games that people remember more fondly rather than the third version is, like, better for marketing purposes, right? Like, I don't think Diamond and Pearl are very good. Platinum is a huge step up, much better. Fixes a lot of Diamond and Pearl's issues, not all of them, but a lot of them. Almost kind of like a remake does, funny enough. And then BDSP goes and, like, doesn't pull anything from Platinum, and there's not really the excuse with the different teams kind of thing, right? Like, it's still just Team Galactic. The story and stuff like that plays out the same. So, like, fair enough. Or not, well, fair enough in this game's case, right? It's a pretty funny interaction. Yeah. He gives us the float stone, which halves its holder's weight, and then he just gains all his weight back immediately, but also, like, changes clothes. Also, I would be remiss to not mention that this song reminds me of Low by Flo Rida. Which, when it loops back to the part that it sounds like, it's so stupid, but like I can't not hear it. I hate it. Let me think. Is it gonna loop back again? Alright, it's gonna loop here. Apple bot. No, I think it's like apple bottom jeans with the fur. And I like cannot unhear that. I don't know why my mind connected the two, but it's what I hear literally every time this song comes up. Whenever that might be. Usually in the background of like Jimmy the Cool videos or something. But yeah, the music is so good though. It is. Like I definitely prefer, like this is up there in terms of Pokemon OSTs for sure. There are great tracks in every gen. I would maybe be more partial to like sort of the hard rock, techno kind of vibes that Gen 5 was going for. But they did a great job with the music in this game. I think I'm gonna go train up a little bit. Battle the trainers over here. I think this is funny. I don't remember if that was a thing in the OG or not. But yeah, we don't get... For the team that I've kind of crafted, there's no new members until Brawly. I think. Yeah. We get one more member at Brawly, and then it won't be for a while that I get the last two. Bum, bum, ba-dum, bum. And there are like two options before Brawly that I think could be interesting, but I'm kind of partial to one in particular. We'll sort that out next time. Because I figure we'll clear this route, do Roxanne's gym, and then... Maybe I'll just start next time with the sailing to Dewford. Just so there's an... Well, then again, there is a lot before Watson, so like I can do like a good chunk of the lead up to Watson after Brawly as well. Let's see. Quick attack, nice try. Just Horn Leech. Shadow Sneak would be really good on this, but I don't think it gets it by level up. Stop. I feel like I've been paralyzed in this playthrough so far more than, like, whole ass playthroughs I've done. Probably not true, but feels like it. Vampy. I'm gonna switch, even though we have the type advantage here, just to... Oh my god, yeah, I was gonna say. I was like, that's not normal, it's not normal rollout damage. I might look into how to mitigate lag. I don't have any paralyzed heals. Do I have a cherry berry? Yeah. I have many. Hut is a 70 base. Like, look at this. This is an actually usable move. It's like there is reason to run it. Horn Leech is better. No sense in teaching it right now, but I'll probably give it to Azula for water types for the time being. Like, I wouldn't mind running that until Move Deleter in Lily Cove. And even then, like, PK Hex could help too, but yeah. I don't know about that interaction, but sure. I've never seen that before. Like, actually. Alright, Ladybug has, like, super high Spadef for no reason. Just Water Pulse, Quick Attack. Or just crit. Okay. Like I said, this thing has a Protean and Super Luck, apparently. Smoke Screen. Over Growl. I mean, neither are going to be kept, really. I do kind of like Smoke Screen better. Spinarak. Knock you out. Dude, Ariados deserves a evolution, man. Like, I'm not even saying like a mega, I'm saying like a... Just give it a regular-ass evolution at this point, come on. Especially because, like, Ariados and Ladybug are two of the few early route bug types that don't have a third form. It's a little... I mean, Gen 2 is just, like, a little odd in general, but that aspect is especially odd. But it's probably because, like, they were more so there to, like, flesh out the existing decks as opposed to being, like, its own standalone decks. And, you know, fun fact, Gen 3 was originally going to be all new Pokemon, which is why there typically are, like, which is why there are, like, so many new Mons in Gen 3. But they bailed on that idea eventually, and then didn't do that actually until Gen 5. Which was sick. Yeah, you have, like, it's hit or miss and stuff like that, but, like, it's fresh. It's, or at least it was, you know, when it came out, right? It was a fresh idea. More interesting than just seeing the same... Like, I love a lot of the classic Mons and stuff, of course, but, like, seeing the same Mons game over game, it's like... Hey, give me something a little new, even if it's, like, a little worse, like, just something, right? Like, I would take Crobat over Swoobat, but... When Crobat's not an option, it's like, well, maybe I'll give Swoobat a shot and try it out, right? Phantom is furthest behind. Wait, yeah, isn't there... There's not a hotkey for it. If I click... Oh, wait, never mind. Can you drag? Yeah, you can click and drag. That's right. Mouse mode patch for, Pokemon incoming. I would not be surprised if, that ends up happening, though. The thing is, like, I just wish Nintendo would sell their old games. Not that it impacts me currently, but I wish they would sell their old games instead of having it be tied to a subscription service, you know? Like, I find the prospect of, like, a Pokemon DS collection more exciting than, or 3DS collection or something, than just adding DS and 3DS games to Switch Online eventually and just having to stay subscribed to be able to play them officially. It's like... It's really not my preference. This seems... I know, like, movesets and stuff have been more advanced, and, like, obviously the pool of mons is different, but this feels kind of tame for a Dray hack, even this early. But we also haven't even fought the first gym, so... Again, maybe I'm speaking too soon. But I'm curious, because, like, I like Dray's older hacks fine. I just find them to be, like, a little unpolished. In particular, like, Volt White, Blaze Black 1, and Sacred Goldstorm Silver. I find Blaze Black Volt White 2, even the originals, to be better, which makes sense, because I think that, like, would have come after. I don't really like Ingrain. We're gonna get Leech Seed at some point, and I already have Horn Leech anyway, so I don't want to, like, prevent myself from being able to switch out. But this game coming out a good number of years after, you know, from, I think, Blaze Black 2 Volt White 2 was 2012, like the original, and then this was 2016, it's like a good gap there. Renegade being 2018, I think, and Renegade's awesome. Renegade's, like, probably his best hack. Like, I don't think it's particularly close either. Like, I thought Renegade was, like, super, like just awesome, like, really across the board. Especially if you use the following patch. And so you implement, you know, the following Pokemon thing from HGSS into Platinum. And it's like Renegade Platinum is my favorite Gen 4 game. I know it's not an official release, I know it's a ROM hack. But, like, I was very... Maybe my playthrough says otherwise at certain points, but, like, I look back at Renegade Platinum very fondly. And it's kind of a shame almost that it took me so long to, like, fully play it, but yeah, awesome game. And yet easily his best hack, so I'm wondering how this might compare, because it is, like, closer in proximity to Renegade in that regard. Yeah, we got actual sturdy, real abilities. That's a thing. That's, like, if we're going to get into specifics as to why Gen 3 doesn't click for me in-game, I think, like, ADV-OU is, like, a really cool format, and if I were to play a competitive format, that is one that I would look into. I find it very interesting. Very, very interesting for a lot of reasons. But in-game, though, it just, like, limits your options a lot. There's a lot of shitty abilities, there's a lot of Pokemon that basically don't have abilities, there's a lot of Pokemon that can't even really reliably use their stab moves, which in competitive is fine, because there are other things to consider in competitive as far as, like, hazards, and hazard removal, and spin blocking, and I guess Gengar really just is the only one that does that, but there's just, like, all these other things to consider besides, like, whatever, but, like, if I ever wanted to use a Crawdon in a Gen 3 in-game playthrough, it's like, this thing is a Water Dark type pre-physical special split with a base 120 attack. Like, it's cool and competitive to work around those kinds of limitations in whatever format he's viable, if it is anywhere. But, like, in an actual playthrough, it's like, it's not exciting for me to run, like, submission strength, I don't even know if it gets submission, or, like, you know, Crab Hammer, not for really damage, but for specifically hitting physical walls or something. Like, to me, that's not, I don't know, maybe it could work, but, like, it's just an unfortunate thing, you know? That's why I think physical special split is my preference, especially when it comes to, like, in-game, in particular. I don't mind what it does to, like, the competitive aspect. The lack of physical special split, mind you. But when it comes to in-game, yeah, I'd rather it be there, because it just gives you more options. Like, it takes away some options from some mons, but, like, you can't seriously sit here and say that, like, taking away fire, ice, and electric covers from Alakazam wasn't a good thing, you know? In the long term. Like, imagine if Zam had Bolt Beam, or something like that, like actual Bolt Beam. Which would be nasty. Granted, Psychic type kind of sucks these days, but it could manage. I mean, it got a Mega and stuff like that too, so. Also, wait, what am I doing? We can't even do anything in here. To do this after. Also, I do like the, you can't see my cursor, but I like the little pixel art renditions of these routes, like the assets from the GBA title for the dex nav. I think that's a really nice touch. Also, wait a second. I know some games... In the originals, HMs were restricted by badge. But then, like, in Gen 5, they weren't, but they just made sure to not give you an HM before. Like, it was just like, they would just limit you by just not giving you the HM as opposed to limiting it by badge, I think. But I think, like, the first 4 gens, I think they were all limited behind a badge. This game came after, but it's a remake of a Gen 3 game, so I'm thinking... I was just wondering if I taught something cut, could I use it right now, but I don't think so. Because I would bet they implemented the limitation like that. But then again, who am I teaching cut to anyway? It might not be a bad idea to just teach it to Combo Skin in case things go awry against Roxanne and he needs something to hit ×4 against like Geodude or something. Because like double kick hits super effectively, sure, but it's only 2 times. Cut over what? Dual stab. Heck coverage for Brawly, I guess. I guess I just cut... I don't know, I kind of like Feather Dance, though. Is Peck really going to reliably do much against Brawly? Let me think. So this would be like 70 against a super effective target, whereas this is 75 with stab. So it's actually worse than this. If it was Ember, then it would be, what, 60 versus 70? So yeah. Get rid of Peck. Fuck it. Let me just see. Yeah, okay. I thought so. But I wanted to check. And apple bottom jeans with the fur. It's not even the same cadence as the song. I don't know why. Any of these NPCs worth talking to? Probably not. I think not. Roxanne. I like how she actually talks to you beforehand. It's a nice touch. I don't know if I ever... It's been so long since I played this game, but... I don't know if I ever noticed, like, the Kabutops and the Lily in the background. Or maybe I'm just not paying attention to these things because I'm not a dipshit. Well, less of a dipshit. What do I lead? I guess I just try to keep training them up evenly for the most part. Lead Dompe and see what's up. Then again... I mean, it's likely that Froakie will evolve before the Roxanne fight. It's likely... What is it? It's 17 for him, I think? I actually don't know. I don't know the evolution levels for... I think it's 36 for the final forms for Gen 6 starters, but... Second form, like, they're always changing it, and I'm like... I feel like I know that shit by heart for the first 5 gens. Because Gen 5 was the one that introduced, like, level 17 being the second form instead of 16. I think, right? But I think... Because let's think, right? Gen 1, it was... Bulbasaur line was 1632. Charizard line was... I think they were all 16 for second form, but then it was like 32 for Venusaur and 36 for the other two. And then Gen 2 was weird, because it was... Wasn't it 14 for Quilava, 16 for Bayleaf, and 18 for Croconaw, maybe? And then like 30 for Feraligatr versus 36... And maybe 32 for Meganium and 36 for Typhlosion? Now I'm curious about this. I'm gonna look. I'm gonna like sate my curiosity while these animations play out. Let's go Cerebi. Yeah, 1632 for Meganium line. Same as Bulbasaur. Cyndaquil line, I know it's 1436, yeah, 1436. And then yeah, I think it's 1830 for Gator. Yeah, it's weird. Like, it takes so long to get Croconaw, and then you get Gator, like, so quickly after that. And in this gen, I think they're all 1636. I'm pretty sure. Which is why I think it weirded me out when I went back and properly played Gens 1 and 2. Way back in the day. That it threw me off that they were, like, different. Yeah, 1636. Yeah, I know for a fact Gen 3 starters are all 1636. This is a good lead on my part. Gen 4. I know it's weird. I know Monferno is 14, and Infernape is 36. Empoleon is... Isn't Empoleon just 1636, I want to say? And then Torterra I rarely have used. But I feel like it might be... It's got a weird second form level, but I think Torterra itself evolves at... Or Grotle evolves at 36. It's... No, sorry, it's 1832. For Turtwig line. That is one starter line that I've hardly ever used. Because the other Torterra's cool, but like it's slow and has like a bad defensive typing, so it's like really that's my main hang-up. And also I just like Infernape and Empoleon way better, but it's no shade, it's just I just haven't used it much. 1832 for Torterra, and yeah, 1436 for Infernape line. And then is it 1836 for... Or no, it's 1636 for Empoleon, yeah. And then I'm pretty sure Gen 5 is all 1736. Yeah, Snivy. 1736 for Emboar. Emboar's really a mon I've come around on. I want to use that thing in a playthrough at some point. I'm going at this. Yeah, and then Gen 6, I actually don't know off the top of my head. 1636, okay. What about for Fennekin? 1636, standard. Gren, 1636, yeah. You better believe I'm going through the rest of them, too. Let's see here. Gen 7. I feel like these are all just standard, yeah? No, 1734 for... 1738. 1734 for Decidueye. Same for Torracat, Incineroar. And yeah, they're all 1734. Weird. In Gen 7. Gen 8, Ocho. I have no idea. 1635. We're shaking things up, aren't we? Feeling frisky. 1635 for Rilla. 1635 for Cinderace. I'm assuming it's the same for Inteleon. Never used it. Let's see, 1635. Okay. Then Gen 9. 1636. Are they all 1636? I would believe so. Yes. Okay. Interesting. And by interesting, I mean... No, it's like genuinely interesting when at least they're all different in the same gen. Low kick is kind of a cool option. Take that over Smokescreen for a different typing. Because then it makes me question, like, well, why did they do this specifically, right? Like, did they think Croconaw would have been too powerful in the early game? Like, what would make you think that? It doesn't have a type advantage against any of the Johto gyms, yeah? Yeah, water is not strong against any of the Johto gym types. It's not until... Not even the Elite Four, right? Because it's Psychic, Poison, Fighting, Dark, kind of, and Dragon. Hmm. Like, in Gen 1 it makes sense, because, like, Bulbasaur was supposed to be, like, easy mode, so to speak. Even though he's my favorite Gen 1 starter, don't at me. Do I want anything to have Spadef? Not, I mean... Wouldn't hurt for this thing to be a little bulkier, maybe. Stop fucking lagging! I think it's partially because I'm streaming too, so it's like my CPU is just... It's a good CPU, but like it's just shitting itself. Slightly. Maybe that timid nature is actually coming into play here. But then again, if it wasn't minus attack, it might have one-shot, but then again, Bonsai was probably sturdy anyway, so... Who cares? Tortuga. This is the tail. Like the stream if you get that reference. Is there a real one? Tried and true to Fire, Water, Grass Core, tearing it up. But yeah, I had thought, like... I don't think that easy, like, medium hard mode kind of mentality... I don't know that was, like, intended beyond Gen 1, maybe? Not to the same degree, though. But it has had me thinking of, like... Well, then Chikorita would be hard mode in Gen 2, because first of all, it's bad, but also it has a type disadvantage against the first two gyms. So, like, and Ice, and Steel resists it, and I guess Dragon resists all three, but yeah. And then, like, Fighting, they're all neutral, but Ghosts are all neutral, yeah. What do I lead here? I don't have any, like, meaningful status moves. If I had, like, spikes on this or something, that could be cool, but alas. Leave this as a last resort, maybe? Get to hear the gym battle leader theme, which is a banger. Let's go. Oh shit, counter led. Do I think this one-shots me? I'm a little scared. I have a type advantage. Sharp Beak. Can we not do this, please? So I know I'm not going to get, like, acrobatics swept. I kind of want to just hit this. Okay. If I knock it into a defeatist range, then it's no longer a threat. Ugh. I'm a little worried about this. I kind of want to save my Horn Leeches. I mean, I probably should have just went back and healed. Ugh. Jesus Christ. Okay. I'm kind of bad for that. Also, I should have saved so I could soft reset instead of, like, gaining the EXP. I've always found that kind of, like, odd. I mean, like, it's a way for you to not get stuck, even though you could go grind elsewhere anyway, but... I think it'd be kind of cool if, like, you There's like there's so much more interesting. What? Also, that sucks. There's so much more interesting stuff you could do with gym battles that could separate them from every other battle in the game. For one, like forcing you to match a certain roster number or something, right? Limiting that. Maybe capping your Pokemon's levels. And maybe not even giving you experience unless you win or something like that too. Right? Like, I mean, Final Fantasy doesn't give EXP in boss battles typically. It usually gives like AP or like whatever secondary experience you gain. It depends on the game, but like you usually get like job points in FF5, for instance, or like you get I think it's AP in FF8. You don't get like actual experience, like you don't level up from it. But you still like gain some kind of resource from it that is still valuable. I could low kick this to break the potential sturdy and make myself resistant as well. It's orange berry. Or citrus berry, rather. Zap cannon? Excuse you. That's crazy. Do I still have speed when parried? I forget. Is it halved or is it still 25% here for speed? I don't remember. I mean, I could use items. I feel like I'm kind of screwed regardless, honestly, because I only have regular potions, so I think I just kind of have to... Okay, we dodged. We dodged the 50% land on Zap Cannon, second time. The true duality of a coin flip there. High Runt. Well, now I know to lead Froakie instead. I think... Yeah, like, I think it's... We're just gonna have to run this one back. Which is fine. That's what the purpose of a casual playthrough is, right? But, like, who knows? Should I feel like Double Kick just, like, stomps this, but maybe not. If it's, like, Eevee, then, like, maybe not, yeah. Oh, no, wait. We crit. Can't tell if that would have mattered. Did a lot for a crit. It's like it might have still killed. We'll get the speed boost. Combo Skin gets even stronger. Azula gets even stronger. Also, I have Cut. You're not random Rindo, are you? Nope. I don't think the crit mattered. The fire type sweep against the Rock Gym leader is quite funny. Night Slashes. Tempting. It's still 70 power in this hack. I don't know, there's not like a lot of ghost types that we're gonna have to deal with. And like maybe eventually for Tate and Liza, I would like move to leader this and then move relearn Night Slash. But that is so far from now. I'd rather keep Feather Dance, I think. For now, at least. I don't think Night Slash provides the kind of coverage that this one wants, necessarily. At least for now. You are Bug Rock. So both of these are neutral. Double Kick does more, because it's 60. It also breaks Sashes and Sturdies, even though this thing doesn't have Sturdy anyway, but yeah. Rock Tomb. It's neutral, thanks to the fighting typing, and we've been speed boosting, so it doesn't affect our speed, really. I'm just gonna Flame Charge on the potion, yeah. This is probably 2 KOs anyway. Yeah, for sure does. If Double Kick did that much. Yeah, big damage. And then I think we got the Combo Skin Sweep. I always thought that was so cool, too, that, like, in this gen you can use the Fire type against the Rock Gym leader because you gain the fighting typing. Yeah, Bug Rock. So, once again, both of these are neutral, but Double Kick is better. Slightly stronger. Oh, no, wait. Never mind. Sorry, it's not Bug, it's Grass Rock. I just think it's funny the fire type saves the battle as opposed to the ones with the type advantage. Then again, this is probably Storm Drain, so Brokey wouldn't have been able to do much. Anyway, could have low kicked, I guess. Wasn't expecting Zap Cannon to come out, but I guess it is super effective, to be fair, so. I'm also curious to see how the CPUs react to Protean. Like, if my type changes, do they recognize that, or do they still think that it's a water type? Remains to be seen. Because it did go for Zap Cannon again, but then again I was a fighting type, which would have resisted Rock Tomb anyway, so hard to tell. And we got Rock Tomb ourselves. Anybody actually want to use that, though? Na-na-na-na-na. Oh, that's cool. A map of the region. Oh, you can actually sit on the sofas, nice. Turn our head robotically. This is what I mean. I think I got a lot of my distaste, or like a lot of my negative takes out of the way, besides HMs, which will probably come up more. Rock Tomb is interesting. Is that beneficial coverage? Like, I don't really have room on the moveset for Combuskin, but for Froakie, it's probably better than some other shit that it has, right? Lick? For an immunity to fighting moves, that would be pretty good for now, actually. Like, being able to change to a ghost type against Brawly might be able to, like, you know, get some more Leech Seed chip or, you know, status chip of some kind. So I have that. Quick Attack is good for now. And I think I'd rather have Low Kick than Rock Tomb, because Rock is just not very good defensively. So it's more so thinking what it can hit. And even then it doesn't hit much. That Combuskin can't already hit. But yeah, nothing to shut me up like a tough battle like that, right? Which I guess it didn't end up being that tough once Combuskin came in, but yeah. Maybe the Quick Claw. Does Steam get used at all again? Past then? Oh, sweet. Yeah, I know I've not been on Discord much. I'll have to pop in there. And we'll have to catch up on one of these days. I think I'm finally ready to actually record that video. Now that the script has been, like... There's, like, one last thing that I need to, like, touch up in terms of the script, and, then it should be good to go. I think it's funny. Is there any purpose to doing this? I think they just put these here because, like, in the original game, it admittedly was confusing or, like, easy to overlook getting cut. Not that I think it's actually required, but there's so many cut trees, like, in and around this area of the region. No, a lot of the time I've been putting into it has been, like, just, like, refining my talking points and, like, trying to get the script all settled. We can do the cut tree down here later. But as soon as I record it, I'm just gonna hit the ground running and just, like, I think kind of zoom through a lot of the editing stuff, because I don't think it'll be terribly long. It's just... It's been, like, a lot of reworking and, like, formulating... It's like I mentioned in the last stream where I was just like, oh, I should expound on this, but I should expound on it in this section, so I'm going to copy this over. Oh, but I need a better segue for how I'm going to transition into that talking point, but then like, oh, but maybe I shouldn't talk about this, or oh, I've changed my mind on this. It's been like a lot of back and forth, which has been kind of frustrating. Hopefully what comes from it will be worthwhile, though. I've had the thumbnail made for a while. But even that, I'm like a little wishy-washy on. In terms of like the title. And I've been playing more Rider Remastered as well. Super fun. Super fun. The story is like getting still intriguing, like not like, but like kind of wild. Like a lot, like there's a lot of crazy shit that's happening, or like even like insinuated in a sense, as far as like what's going on, and it's super cool and very fun. I think I'm like about halfway through, because I think it's 12 episodes, and I'm on episode 6, so I'm like not quite halfway through, but like what, 15 hours in or something like that. And people have been like, I looked into it, people were saying like, you know, 25 to 30 hours or something like that. I finished the rest of the levels in Mega Man 11. Nice. Nice. Yeah, that game does get a lot easier once you do have... What the fuck? I pressed A. Joltik, one of my faves. Love Galvantula. But not this time, buddy. Yeah, I did finish up Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, replaying it for the first time in like 6 years. Good game. Good game. I'll probably do an updated Igavania tier list at some point, either before or after Scarlet Engagement comes out, and like include those 2 Bloodstained Metroidvanias. I can't stay in on this. You pursuing me? No. But yeah, it was good. Good. It's fun, you know. I don't really think it like holds up against the DS games or Symphony of the Night, though, in my opinion. But I might be like, in certain ways maybe, but in other ways it's like so similar, but then also like presents worse, which is not the end all be all, but like when it is so similar still to games that present better, I'm like, eh, but it's still good. Still like worth playing and stuff like that if you're itching for more. Especially because like it is like very Castlevania, like even more so than a lot of indie inspired Metroidvanias out there, because of course it's from Iga himself, right? Easy one shot. I know the story like the back of my hand, so I'm like, I don't think it's like, it's not one of those stories that I feel attached to where like, oh, I need to like, I want to engage with this, you know, for the millionth time, necessarily. That goofy goon, I tailed it out of here. Goofy ass. Pretty sure there's a hidden item up here. No? No. Well, damn. Alright. Who's further behind? Phantom still. Makes sense. I mean, I anticipate having to pull Trevenant's weight with the other broken-ass members of my squad. So, it's like, I'm not too surprised. I also, I don't know, I think Frisk is an interesting ability in this game's context because a lot of important trainers are going to have held items, so I can actually identify them. But doesn't Frisk only proc when you switch in, or... Yeah, because that wouldn't make sense. Yeah, so, like... It's when you switch in, so you only really get to check... It would more so, like, confirm suspicions of, like, oh, is this Specs? And then I switch it in. And it's like, oh, it's Specs, and it's like, okay. So I feel like Natural Cure is probably just better. Because, like, yeah, I'm not opposed to using items in battle in this playthrough, but also, like, if I could just switch out to restore the status, like, that's, like, an interesting option. Togepi. Come on, man. But yeah, I think it should be feasible to get this next video out by this next week, and then probably... I think Raido is going to be short enough to where I'll be able to finish it and do a video on it before the end of the month, basically. Still. So, that'll be nice. I can keep up my 2 videos a month thing, at least for a little while longer. Like I mentioned, like, August might be a little tricky. Because I'll be traveling at the beginning of the month, and then I'm starting a new job at the end of the month. So, like, again, I don't think the time commitment for that job will, like, change my ability to make videos and stream to the same degree. But it's more just, like, kind of getting to the grips with things and, like, not overextending myself at first. But, yeah. I think once I'm, like, a few weeks in, it'll be fine, you know? Like, it might be that I opt to, like, take a break from streaming in particular, but keep doing videos. Just, like, temporarily going into the fall, but we'll see. Which might not be a bad idea, because I don't want to, like, blitz through all the streaming things that I want to do too quickly, you know? Like, of course, XG would be, like, an XG replay, or some kind of challenge run with that. Would be the next, like, Pokemon playthrough I would do, but I'm not going to do that, like, immediately following this. See, it's funny because, like, this confused me when I first played this game way back when. Because it was like, what? A goal that isn't just, like, you know, go to the next town and fight the gym leader? Because, like, you know, you fight Brawly and then it's like... It was like, oh, you gotta deliver that letter to Steven, and it's like... Is that supposed to, like, tell me where Steven is? Is there a hint that he's in Granite Cave? Or, like... Once I figured out where he is, like, I've never really paid attention to what people might, like, NPCs might say about that, but I guess the assumption is, like, well, there's nowhere else to explore, so might as well. But, like, the cave is also, I don't know. It's, like, a weird thing. Not a criticism, necessarily, it's just, like, because at this point I know where he is, but it's, like, just odd. Also, wait, they, like... I don't want to say they neutered it, but like they cut back on Granite Cave as far as like how much you need to do in this game. Like, I think there still is a deeper area you can go to later with like all the bike route stuff. At least I hope that wasn't cut. But I guess not that it really matters that much, but point being, there's like a big like tunnel that leads like straight down to where Steven is instead of having to like kind of maneuver in the dark kind of deal, which is what I would usually do in actual Gen 3 because Flash is terrible and was also an HM at the time. So yeah, I figure we can pretty, you know, decently long stream for how I've been doing things lately, but I figure we can take the boat to, should I save the boat for the beginning of next time? I don't know. We'll at least get the items here. Pretty sure there's a hidden item. Yeah. Miracle Seed. Yeah. That actually wouldn't be terrible, Mossy Rock, because they have to include it because it's an arbitrary means of evolution for one specific Pokemon. I like Leafeon fine, but it's just like the fact that something like this has to be included in every game subsequently is dumb. And I don't like that. But I've gone into that in the past, where it's like, why are there so many unique evolution methods that it's like, why did the Electrolyzer need to resist when the Thunderstone existed, right? And like Electabuzz wasn't a Thunderstone evolution to begin with, so like, what is the difference there, you know what I mean? Besides being able to like gate one but not the other kind of deal. Like give you a Thunderstone but limit you from getting Electivire in too early, but it's also like, but like the Electrolyzer I think is post-game in Diamond and Pearl. It might even be in Vanilla Platinum, actually. It might even be post-game exclusive. It's just like, why? Why? Like, why, though? I don't know why I'm healing here. I'm just gonna go get a 2 for it anyway, but... yeah, and then, like, trade evolutions being archaic. And, like, a lot of these things, once again, fixed in the Legends games because they're single-player focused. You know, people like to say that, like, oh, Game Freak doesn't care about the competitive scene. I think they care about the doubles competitive scene much more now than they used to, for sure. For sure. Singles, yeah, like, it's a fan-made community, so, like, no one, I don't think, expects them to, like, tailor things to that aspect, even though it'd be nice, right? But, yeah, it's just, like, I do think the focus on competitive aspects, I've gone into this in the past, like, I like the competitive scene, separate from the in-game stuff. And so, like, the problem is that stuff seeps more and more into the in-game stuff and trivializes a lot of the in-game JRPG kinds of things. Like with the EXP candies and the raids and, like, all these things that you can access that you, like, that, like, screw with the balance of the game. It's like, oh, just don't use EXP candies. But, like, they're literally handing this shit out like candy. It's bad design. Like, it's bad design for a single-player JRPG, at least. But the thing is, it's not just a single-player JRPG. It's also basically a means to raise a competitive team. So, like, I appreciate those strides that they've made there. It's still too much, in my opinion, to want to have any desire to raise an official team on cart. More power to you if you feel like that is worth it, but no thank you. I've never been interested, even with all the improvements, but yeah, it's just, I don't know, it's just weird. That's why I think the Legends games are especially refreshing, because it's like, there's none of that competitive stuff to like seep into and taint the single player JRPG side of things. Again, I like the competitive scene, but like, again, as a separate aspect, which is why I think like Champions is interesting. If there's going to be a team builder in there, you know, in their battle sim, like that could mitigate and like actually have them be able to focus on making JRPGs, which Pokemon is, without having to worry about, like, they can worry about the competitive side in terms of like move pools and stuff like that, but like not in terms of we have to make it accessible for you to be able to change natures and abilities and IVs. And like, I like that stuff still for in-game. Like I was saying earlier, where like I wish nature mints were in earlier games so that I didn't have to sweat like catching a million different kinds. It's like, it's a bunch of systemic problems that stack on top of each other, but at the end of the day, these are like relatively casual JRPGs, and they're not, you can play them in more intense ways, like with Nuzlocke and challenge runs and going into the competitive scene and shit like that, sure. But at the end of the day, for like just like a standard playthrough, it's not that deep for the most part. And that didn't even really, it wasn't even as much of an issue, I think, with Gen 6 and 7. It's more so 8 and 9 that have like really been catering to the, like, how easy it is to team build rather than making compelling single-player experiences, I guess, in my opinion. Even though I did, like, at least somewhat enjoy my time with Sword and Shield and Scarlet and Violet, despite their issues. But there's a lot of issues beyond performance and technical things, for sure. But with that said, sorry if I like came across as like overly negative this stream. It's just more like, I don't know, like this game being the game that like initially had me fall off of Pokemon back when, which I told that story earlier on in the stream, and then given the state that it's in, I like can't help but view Gen 6 as somewhat of a catalyst for what would become the series that I think is like doing interesting things in the Legend sub-series, which is why I'm not like totally like out of it, or out of the loop, I guess. But in terms of like the more traditional mainline titles, I think it's messy to call the Legends titles mainline because they are so different, but whatever. It's not a derogatory term, it's more just like they play differently and like are structured differently, which is what would make them their own series aside from mainline, but whatever. I feel like if anything, Game Freak specify that they're still mainline titles to not get people to write them off. Even though they're doing more interesting things and are, at least for Legends Arceus case, like it's better than a lot of the other Switch games in terms of Pokemon offerings, at least. It's probably, I mean, it probably is the best one overall, just because it, partially because it does something different, and it does some of those different things well. Others not so much, but like it's the first of its kind, so like, yeah, I would expect the follow-up to improve in some of those aspects. So, we'll see though. Until then though, good progress, you know. Was relatively slow, just, you know, trying to acquire the other two team members, but it should be pretty smooth sailing, pun not intended, from here on out. Next time we will tackle the second gym. Granite Cave is really not much of anything at this point, but like, you know, do some Slate board and just see where that takes us. If it means that I can get around to Watson within my usual time frame, then like, sure, we'll do multiple gyms, that's fine. Like I mentioned, Flannery and Norman will probably be in the same stream, because Norman is like immediate, since you have access to Bettelberg already, but yeah, I mean, it should, like, I'm gonna try to have fun with this, you know, like, I don't want to be such a Debbie Downer, but fighting Roxanne was fun, and I anticipate more battles like that coming up as we go, so it should be cool.